Hey, all, welcome to Live Dreams. This is the week of July 4th edition. We weren't going to do one, but I decided to come on. We might do a shorter one tonight, but I wanted to do one. I love to do these as often as we can. We're so grateful, so thankful for our audience and for everybody that loves to tune in. Hey, Maria from Bayonne. Hi, Pam from Indiana. Maria says, hi, Pam. Gwen from California. All right. Boy, Maria's popular tonight. Hey, California, kids in San Diego. Yes, I used to live in San Diego. I used to live in Chula Vista and Oceanside. Wow, 107 in Sacramento. Oh, I used to live in Redding, too. And it is hot up north in California. Let me know where you're calling in from. Hey, it's Tanya from the UK. Hi, guys. Holly, all right, from Victoria. We got people calling in from all over the world. Brenda from Florida. Hi, Brenda. All right. By the way, here's our link. I just reposted it again. If you have a short dream that you want to share, feel free to hop in and click on the link. Going fishing later. I went fishing earlier today. Caught a carp, a sheephead, and a catfish. Took my son. Yes. All right. Hi from Ohio. All right, Ohio. I'm in Ohio right now. Hello, everybody. Southeast Kentucky. Yo, Kentucky. Hello, beautiful people. All right, Nicole's here. Hey, Ash West is here. All right. Dawn's with us. Dawn, Nicole. We got a lot of familiar faces tonight. All right. Ash West, ladies and gentlemen, Ash West. I love it how you all say hi to each other in the comments. Like once we open up the comments, it's like a free for all. Everybody's like, "Hi Pam, hi Elaine, hey it's Nicole, hey fellow Brit, Ash, hi Ash." We're such a big family. If you haven't joined our family yet, it's real easy. Go to dreamlifedecoded.com and download the free ebook. When you do that, you'll be put on our mailing list. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to send you a email that says, here's how to join our family. You can join us on Facebook in Dream Lab, where if you have a dream in the middle of the week and it's not Tuesday, like if you have one tonight and you're like, oh man, I don't want to wait a week to find out what my dream means, you can post it in the Dream Lab. And we have literally thousands. I think we're up to like 1,800 people. A lot of them have been trained for several years by myself and my staff. Some of them are just people that care about dreams. Some of them have been trained by other people. It's a big mix of family there. But if you're looking to get a dream interpretation, that's a good place to go, because you can post your dreams and we can interpret them throughout the week, not just me, but a whole bunch of other people. So those are awesome and lots of fun. Margaret. Hey, Margaret. How are you? Susan. We got Eddie. We got Texas in the house. We got Dawn with no vacation. I know, right? I'm supposed to be on vacation. Hey, Christy's here from Houston. All right. Good deal. Selena. Dot. Faithful One from St. Louis, Missouri. All right. Yes, from Connecticut. Undisclosed location. Yes. Yes, we have some intel, people we will not discuss. Blessings from Ohio, Hollywood, California, Sacramento. Wow, so many people here tonight. 106 in California. Strange July. Looking good. Yeah, I got a little sun, if everybody's wondering. I had some friends in eastern Ohio that have four adorable little girls. And like 9 and 7, and went out there with some friends and stayed for a couple of days, and we all went fishing and caught a bunch of bass and just had a blast. And it was a really good time. Hey, it's Shelly from West Texas. It's Nat from Brooklyn. All right. Yes, happy Independence Day, everybody. All right, Kathleen's in the house too. Wow, we got so many friends to say hi to. Ash West and the Diana Larkin crew. Yes, we got so many people from Diana Larkin. Just love her. Just love what she does with the Watchman's Journal, and I love it when she has Ash or Brian Palencia and I on, and we get to interpret dreams together. That's such a good time. I've been on the road a little bit, and so we haven't done as many of those lately, but hopefully we'll get back into doing those soon. Yeah, I'm not on vacation. Well, I guess if you're traveling, you can kind of count it as vacation, right? Hello, Tara. Eddie from Nevada. Wow, we got literally people all over the country and around the world. Don't want to miss anybody. Vanessa from Hollywood. Linda from Corpus Christi. Lexington. All right. Wow. Are you coming to Texas for the briefing this month? I'm not sure which briefing we're talking about, but send me an email and let me know. I am on the road, so it is possible that I could be traveling. Yes, Diana Larkin is amazing. Happy to see someone from Hollywood Beach. Yes, okay, Robin Bullock and Elijah streams. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm coming to that one or not. It could be possible. We don't know yet. I'm thinking about possibly doing maybe a Dream Lab in Michigan soon, up in the Detroit area. We had a bunch of people that we saw at a conference up there recently. And so if you're in the Detroit area or willing to drive to Detroit for a Dream Lab, say I. So we know how many people we could get up to Detroit. Naples, Florida. All right. Yes. Yes, if I come down to Texas, I would love to meet. That's one of the things that we get to do is when I travel is, um, yes, I did. I went with the Rising family. Yes, all right. Allentown, Pennsylvania. I was just out at Valley Forge. Beautiful time there. I need to do another live. I need to clue you guys in on the rest of my trip at Valley Forge and what happened there. All right, Ash is committed to fly into Detroit for a Dream Lab. All right, who else is in? Hey, Sevilla. All right, I was just with her and her amazing husband, Dennis. I love that guy. We were just together this last weekend, hanging out with a whole bunch of people. Patricia was there, and Tiffany was there. David was there. Yuri was there. Krista Alicia was there with us. That was just such a blast. I got to share in the morning and in the afternoon service at Freedom Fellowship. By the way, if you're in the Worcester / Apple Creek, Ohio area and you're looking for a good church, Freedom Fellowship is top shelf. Just amazing people. Their leadership is just incredible. They're humble. They love God. They are passionate about things like prayer and things like dreams and things like prophecy, and their worship is amazing. And yes, I will get back on Valley Forge. I loaded up a whole bunch of pictures so I could pull up. I saw like an eagle in the clouds over George Washington's house when I was at the Brandywine battlefield the last day I was there. And so I actually got pictures of like a trace outline of the eagle so I could show it in the clouds and then show the trace outline superimposed over it so you can see it better. So I'm still a few of those things in the works, trying to get that done. I will get back to you on the rest of the trip. I went to DC, Brandywine, Valley Forge, stayed in the oldest home in Pennsylvania that was built in the 1600s. Yeah, it was just, I got pictures of it all. It was just amazing. All right, Midwest. We're in the Midwest, Kathleen. Valley Forge was awesome. Yes. We got so much more to talk about Washington's third vision. I to attend in Detroit. All right. Well, we might have to do something up there. 777. Yes, an eagle. All right. Brandywine. Check the Lord of the Rings reference. Huh. The Lord of the Rings reference. I'm intrigued, Susan. Send me an email on that. I don't know if I know what the Lord of the Rings reference to Brandywine is. Kansas City, Mo. Wow. Yes, that's a drive for Detroit, but it's a short flight. Yes, I'm going to put that another video together. So, all right. Well, let's get started. Tours of Gettysburg. Ooh, interesting. I might have to go there at some point. I think there's going to be more travel. I think that's one of the reasons. I was all set to move, and the house that I was going to move into kind of fell through, and so my stuff's in storage, and I'm on the road. So people are like, "Where do you live?" And I'm like, "Out of my truck." I mean, I do have family. I have a lot of friends in a lot of places. I have invites to a lot of places. I have open invitations to places in South Carolina, North Carolina, all over Ohio, Michigan, West Virginia. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm kind of staying over on the East Coast side, the northeast corner, sort of the Midwest. Oh yeah, the bridge and its significance to the hobbits. Huh. I'm gonna have to look that up. All right. I live where I am. Yes, exactly. I totally understand that. Not homeless, just mobile, hostile, and agile. I like that view better. No, I could rent just any place. I don't really want an apartment. I want more of a house and I'm still praying, where's the right area right now. I've been in the Nashville area, but is that where I need to continue to be? I don't have any indication that it's not, but like I said, it may be a season. I've spent 2.5 years on the road before where God just said, put your stuff in storage and go where I lead you. And it's a different level of faith. It's a different, yes, it's in transition. Oh, yes, I like Pam's version. It's on holiday. Or Ash. Yes, I have a lot of homes. If I stay home, then I don't get to meet all of you. So if I get to travel, yes, and yes to Nicole. It is adventure. All right. Well, let me give you a quick briefing. By the way, welcome if this is your first time to Live Dreams. We're a family here. We do dream interpretation together as a family. That's why I just really wanted to take some time. I decided to do Live Dreams by myself unless we have somebody that's trained through our program that wants to jump in with me. I'm not opposed to that, but we didn't have anybody else planned. I actually had kind of canceled Live Dreams for tonight. I love Venice Beach, Florida, where the shark teeth are. Yes. But so I decided to jump on and do at least an hour. I don't know if I'm going to go much longer than that. We might. I want to do what we did last week with kind of the rapid fire, where we stick to like a 5-minute touch with each person. So if you can share a dream within 30 seconds to a minute, that's ideal. And then, yes, on a walkabout. I am on a walkabout. There's still more on the Brandywine Bridge. Man, I'm gonna have to go back and read these comments. I'm catching pieces of the Brandywine Lord of the Rings discussion. Yeah, you're gonna sing me a song, Monica. But hi, Diana. We're just getting started, so glad you're here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk patriotic dreams tonight. The 4th of July obviously is 2 days away. There's a lot happening. The Supreme Court has made some landmark decisions, and Twitter and X and Truth Social and all of that is a buzz with what that means, and people are mad on this side or that side, but it's interesting. Really feel like God is moving. Things are happening. Things are shifting. And it may be sometimes if you're prophetic or you have your pulse on what's going on in a nation prophetically, God will have that reflective in your life. And so being on the road and traveling, I think is is kind of interesting for what I'm doing right now. So, yeah. All right. A patriotic short DJT dream. We'd love to hear it. Click on the link and hop in with us, or you can post it in the comments. And I'll try to, yes, liberal heads are exploding. and I'll try to take a look at it. So what we do here is we want to introduce you to what it's like to have a dream interpreted, properly interpreted, and we use the Joseph method, which is 5 things. It's simply we teach a ton on this, but just real quickly, start with humility, identify the key symbols. This is straight out of Genesis 41. Interpret the key symbols with the word of knowledge, put it all together, which is the conclusive summary, and then what is the action? We call that part actionable intelligence. And so that's what we do. That's what we practice here. We try to do it rapid fire. But what we also do is that somebody's sharing a dream. There are so many of you that have been around the community so long, and we know and we honor the voice of God through you as well. It's not just me. It's not just the people that are hosting live dreams. It's all of us together. And so as you get an unction or a thought in your spirit, just go ahead and throw it in the comments. Obviously, people aren't shy about lighting up the comments because we're a community, we're a safe place just to be able to kind of share what we feel like a symbol might be. And then it's interesting when you see, let's share that. It's interesting when you hear me say something, or you have an unction and somebody else says it at the same time, and then it just confirms the voice of God, not only through me but through you. And there's no junior Holy Spirit. After you've been doing this for years and years, you might learn how to hear the voice of God a little bit better, but it's not like there's a graduate level in the Holy Spirit. There's no junior Holy Spirit. And the proof of that, we did a dream lab on Sunday night, and there was a young gentleman in the room. I don't even know what his age was, but he's probably maybe 14 or 15. And this guy was just nailing it from the front row, just boom, 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 boom. Like everything this kid said was like dead on. And I'm like, see, guys, like you can be 7'6'3". That's interesting. And so, he was home running it. All right. So let's start with Levon. Levon posted a dream up here. By the way, I don't say this enough, but thank you all for your bravery of coming on and sharing your dreams with us. I know it's not an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of vulnerability to kind of open up and say, hey, I had this dream. I don't know what it means. Not only are you sharing some deep personal things that God is speaking to you, you don't know what it means. So it could be something about you personally. And so you're really taking a risk. And I appreciate that you do that over and over and over again. Every week, we're not anywhere near a lack for people. In fact, we're a lack usually for time to get through as many people as we can that share dreams. But Levon posted her dream here. And so before we bring somebody on, let's just get started with this one, kind of warm up. I was at a baseball game, pro stadium, seated behind the home plate. DJT was the umpire. Dream ended. Wow, I love this dream. I love this dream because it takes me all the way back to 2020 and a dream that I had about a dream that actually an advisor to Trump friend of mine that I was doing a lot of dreams for at that time prior to the election had about he had actually 2 dreams about a baseball game. And one had a softball in it. And I felt like there was somebody, this is when there were 13 contenders in the Democratic field in 2020. This was right around Super Tuesday, so March of 2020. And so we're like, well, who does the softball represent? And as I'm looking through, I thought there was going to be somebody that either in high school or college played softball at, again, either a college level or a high school level. And I thought, who would that be? And I specifically heard softball, not hardball. Well, as I began to go through the list of 13 Democratic contenders, one thing I found an article on Wikipedia that said Joe Biden played baseball, I believe, in college. So I'm like, oh, wow, okay, so that's interesting. So a lot of times when somebody has a dream of a baseball game, I see it as Joe Biden's world, because that was the sport that he played, or one of the sports that and I'm going to say it carefully, but allegedly played. And the reason I say it is this advisor had another dream, and there was an umpire, and he was calling calls that weren't real. And it was like, and he's yelling from the stands like fake news. And I thought, man, this goes back to the whole Joe Biden playing baseball in college thing. And I went back to look up the reference, I went to Wikipedia and looked up Joe Biden. It says he plays baseball, and then you can click on the link and it links to an article. And I believe the article was either New York Times or Washington Post. And I went to that article. This is the article that proves that Joe Biden played baseball in college. Nowhere in the article does it mention baseball at all. Like the word baseball isn't even in the article. And I'm like, how could somebody put this in Wikipedia as support for the little number, the little asterisk, whatever, right after baseball, that Joe Biden played baseball in college, and the article doesn't even cite that he played baseball. But it was interesting because the dream was about fake news. And so I'm like, wow, this is fascinating, and almost like hit home the dream, because when would you go look up the references in Wikipedia to find out what a presidential contender, whatever sport he played in high school or college, unless you're one of these crazy dream people, right? And so I was just like, wow, I think out of saying something about the fake news, maybe it was even fake news. I don't even know if he played in college, because the proof that's supposed to be provided in Wikipedia, or at that time, it'd be interesting. Somebody go look that up. Look up Joe Biden on Wikipedia, go down to college, see where it says he played baseball, click on the article, and see if it's still there, because last time I looked it up, there's nothing in the article whatsoever that verified that he played baseball. But it's the idea that baseball, so a baseball game, a baseball diamond, was his world. But is it? If baseball wasn't even his game, if he never played, that's how we got to it, was his world. So maybe it's what it appears to be Joe Biden's world. And again, this is a lot for just this short little dream that Levon had. But in a baseball game, pro stadium, seated behind home plate. Okay, so that is, I believe, where the American people are. Like, we're seated right behind home plate. We get to see the pitch. We get to see the batter. We get to see the umpire. It's super interesting that DJT was the umpire, because most people think, when you think of a game of sport, you think of a game of skill or chance. And when you're talking about people like Joe Biden and Donald Trump, you're thinking of a contest, like an election, right? Trump's the umpire, which means there's a level of governmental authority that he has, that he's literally calling the shots of what happens, of the plays of the game. He's not competing in the game to try to win over an opponent. He's literally the master of the game, which, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, that could mean a whole lot of things to a lot of people who feel like things are not as they seem. And obviously different people are in charge than what we've been led to believe, which is, after the debate, it's obvious to even the most casual observer. So anyway, that's awesome. When did you have the dream? Yes, calling the shots. See, you guys are just killing it. Baseball screams America. Dream date was July 4th, 2021. Wow. Yes. Wow. My thoughts exactly. Wow. That's amazing. On the 4th of July. Yes. That's incredible. The umpire makes the game. Sure, the game is played by the rules. Yes. 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 Yeah. See how much discussing? You saw that dream. It was like this long. It was literally like 10 words long, and we're still talking about it. Demonic laughing, mocking. Yeah, so I think it's really interesting. There's other stuff that you can't share, right? Protected. All right. Okay. Oh, here we go. Joseph Biden played baseball and was a standout halfback and wide receiver on the high school football team. So if you click on link 13, it should take you to. Yeah, I kind of heard that too, Laurel. Commander-in-Chief. Yes, baseball is the all-American sport. The opponent we're playing against, not understanding the ruling. Yes. Sometime I need to probably just come on and do just dreams in the comments, because now that we did one, we got a bunch of people that put dreams in the comments. But I got people waiting in the back, so I'm going to hop into the people that are waiting. And maybe we'll get a chance to come back and do some dreams in the comments in a little bit. But let's start with Gwen. Hi, Gwen.
Hi.
How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Good. Is this Got a Pen, Gwen?
This has got a penguin.
All right.
That came from school because, when school would start, people would say, you have a pen, Gwen, or it was always like, got a pen, Gwen. And it was just like this funny thing. And I just was like, since I like to write stuff down, I just figured I would, just go with it.
Just go with it. All right. Where are you calling in from?
Well, right now I'm in the schoolroom where I homeschool my grandson, Sacramento, California.
All right.
Why you
Wow.
see that messy closet.
Yes. Cool.
All right. So I have this dream about DJT, and I had it a couple weeks ago, and I didn't remember it right when I woke up, so I'm not sure what date I had it, but it's within the last couple of weeks, and it's just been playing over and over in my head. And basically, I don't know if there's something that there's an event that happened 3 times, and I don't know if it was the same event happening 3 times, and each time I got more details about it, like it got clearer, or if it was 3 separate things within this dream. So I'm at this place, and it's like a um uh like Universal Studios kind of thing. Not really rides, but it's more like an immersive um theatrical experience. And
Mm.
when I first come to know my surroundings, I'm in like there's like it's like a cul-de-sac of buildings. So there's like 5 buildings in like a curve. And there's like lots of cities like the Vatican and DC have like this like a long lawn or strip of whatever with like a keyhole kind of round at the end. So it's all grass. And so I'm up in this building on the right, and I can look across this long lawn. At the end of the lawn there's like mountains and clouds. And I'm sitting in an armchair, and I'm at the like what like they're like 4 or 5 story buildings, and I can look out, and I'm looking at the mountains, and I'm looking at the clouds, and the clouds start to like morph and take shape and like kind of become animated. And when there's like a giant that kind of comes walking, and I don't know what kind of giant it is, I just know it's a large giant type figure, and it comes walking towards the buildings, and it goes and it looks in the first building. I'm in the 5th building, and it looks in the first building, so I can see it from the backside. And then that just kind of ends. And then there we are again. Here I am. I know that I'm on the 5th floor, and I'm looking down the lawn, and it's like mountains they look like they're far, but they're not really, because it's like a holodeck.
Mm.
It's just weird, like it's a but I don't have that revelation yet. I'm just looking, and I see the clouds, and I'm watching the clouds, and they're kind of they're forming. And then again, once again, they animate, and a giant comes walking. And when it approaches and it gets to like that first building and starts to look in the first building, I am now down on this round grassy area, and DJT is down there, and I have my grandson with me. And in real life he's 6, but in the dream he's about 3, maybe 4. And he wants to go be with DJT. And I remember feeling kind of like shy about that, like not wanting to like go swarm this guy or whatever. And so then that's just kind of like over. And then the 3rd time it happens, there I am, I'm up again, and at this point I know that I am in a submersive theatrical event. And um I know that the buildings that we are in they're on the inside, they're like 5 story like hotel buildings, but on the outside it's made to look like a like scaled version of like a city. So they're supposed to look like skyscrapers, and they're like square rectangular skyscrapers. And I'm sitting in a square chair like you would find in like a nice waiting room or a hotel lobby or something, but no high back or anything, just fully squared. And I'm looking down the lawn, and I see the clouds, and once again it animates, and a giant comes, and it comes down. And it's looking in the first building again, and then I'm back down on the grass again. And my grandson just really wants to be with DJT, and Donald picks him up and holds him in his arm like this. You know how you hold a kid and they're sitting on your arm, and you got your arm like this. And so like he's holding my grandson, and I just reach in there. I'm just like filled with love, and I just kind of reach in, and he puts his arm around me, and I put my hand on his chest, and I said, "I love you, Mr. Trump." And then it ends.
This is amazing. I love this dream. This is an incredible dream. Um, so, just to be clear, you saw 3 different giants.
I don't know if I saw 3 different giants, or if I saw the same thing 3 times and just got more revelation about what I was seeing with each time.
Okay. So you're unable to tell really like the characteristics of the giant enough to identify whether it's the same or it's a repeat.
I feel like it probably is the same. Like I think it was wearing pants, you know, kind of like I don't know, kind of like shaped like Shrek,
Oh, Shrek.
but
Interesting.
not green, not looking like Shrek, but like a you know that shape of figure, but tall because it could look into like the fourth story of the building across from me.
This is super weird and interesting, but my staff makes thumbnails for what we call themed live dreams, where sometimes we do live dreams with a theme, and we're having a theme coming up soon. And so, but instead of making one thumbnail, they made five that I was going to share tonight. This is one of the thumbnails, which I
Yeah.
think
Well, it wasn't really scary, you know.
I
It,
was going to ask you that if it was scary. Oh, here's
no,
another one with the buildings and the
yeah, that is very
clouds.
interesting because that's I mean that's that skyscraper city, you know,
Yes.
tall buildings.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I just loaded them up, just as we started, just to be able to share with you guys. But
But I
wow.
got the feeling like on the third round, I got the feeling that I had the knowing that I was at like a place where you would go for an experience. Like it wasn't real, you know? Kind of like the Jolly Green Giant, I guess. Is kind of how it seems, but I got the feeling that I knew that it wasn't real. I was just there for an experience, like it was like a
Like an VR
resort.
thing, like an immersive thing, like you said, Universal Studios, or
Yeah,
and so you knew it was almost like a ride you were going on more than it was like you were afraid and fear of your life.
absolutely. People were there for the experience of experiencing something, and it was and because I knew that the mountain, it looked like it was far away, but
Uh-huh.
I don't think it really was. You know, like it looked like I was looking far away, but it was really only the end of like this long grassy lawn. I mean, it was a long lawn, you know, but
Yeah.
it looked like mountains in the distance, but I feel like it was more like I got a feeling of like the holodeck on Star Trek, you know?
Yes, you mentioned that. I love the Star Trek
Yeah.
reference. Like virtual reality. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like what God is showing you is He's showing you. Um, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's not real, because I think it's what it's showing you is the spirit realm, and I think it is real, but it's not like real to you, where you don't feel like this giant is going to attack you and destroy you, but you're seeing this thing and you're like, okay, we're watching something play out.
Yeah. Like
Do
it was
these?
meant to be thrilling.
Yes, yes. Like, hold on to your hats. This is going to be a great movie or a great show. Don't be afraid, but get your popcorn, kind of a thing.
Right. And
Yeah,
DJT was standing in the center of the round grassy area. So it was like a
yeah,
round, grass that had like a like that keyhole, like that. It's in all the cities.
yeah. I love how you said it's like in the capital city, and you
Yeah.
think of especially the area in front of the Capitol, or like Ellipsis Park in front of the White House. And if you think of Ellipsis Park and the Capitol, Trump spoke at Ellipsis Park on January 6th, and then a whole bunch of people marched to the Capitol. And with the ruling that came out just even this week related to the whole January 6th thing, I think I feel like giants are already falling. Um, but I think, what I'm really kind of pinged in on here is in the dream, your grandson was 3, but he's really 6. So this is taking us back 3 years ago. Um, and so back 3 years ago was 2021,
That's interesting.
which is when January 6th occurred. I feel like this is related to January 6th. I feel like what we saw was a show, and if this is the first time you're hearing this, please, please, please do your research. January 6th was not an armed, deadly insurrection.
No.
It was not an insurrection at all. Nobody at all whatsoever was armed, and no one died except for the one lady that was shot by the Capitol Police. And contrary to the media that put out over and over and over again, 5 people died and this died and that, and every single one of them has been debunked. And pretty much every single thing that the media has said about January 6th has been proven to be a lie, to the point now that they're saying the January 6th committee was even illegal itself. And now the Supreme Court has ruled that what they charged people with and illegally and unlawfully detained them on has been overturned by the Supreme Court. And so it's interesting that God is bringing this up right now. When did you have this stream? You had it in 2021, right?
No, I just had this dream a couple weeks ago.
You had this stream. Oh yeah, that was the last stream.
It's just been on my mind, and I didn't remember it right when I woke up, and then it just started coming to me, and then it's just been like playing in my head, and I'm like, I gotta get on to this live dream thing and share my Donald Trump dream, because
yeah,
it's persisting in my head and just keeps playing over.
Yeah. Wow, super interesting. So I feel like what we're seeing is giants are going to fall. Trump is, I believe, when we've seen so many dreams about him rescuing children, about, and it's not that any Christians that I know have a Messiah complex about Trump. That's simply not the case. If you do your research, you will see that he rescued more children out of human trafficking than, I think, probably any 5 presidents combined. I think the number, it's so ridiculously skewed. Like, Trump literally made it a point to go after rescuing trafficked kids, whereas the left wants to continue to groom children and release pedophiles and not charge them, and they're resistant to any type of law at all. They want to celebrate people coming after our kids and harming them sexually in other ways. This is like a bastion, a pillar of the left's entire platform. Trump has been like, not only no, but hell no, and going after those people that are trying to do that. And man, I sure hope he wins, because it's going to be a bad day for traffickers. But it's going to be good, because we need our country cleaned up. We have so many, like, we don't even begin to understand most of the evil that's happening.
I know.
But yeah, I think this is really good. There's 3 different giants. We're working on a dream called the 5 Giants Dream. So this just adds more to that. In a couple of minutes, probably the most that we can say about this is the fact that, I like what Linda says, 3 giants, 3 years. Yeah, it's been 3 years. And it's been 3 years of battles. It's been 3 years of crazy indictments and absolutely crazy media. But, as the media has continued to lie about Trump, what's happened to the media? They've declined more rapidly than probably at any time ever in American history. Companies like CNN are closing their headquarters, and Disney is bleeding capital, like 2/3 of their market cap in a year and a half. Like, they're just, these companies that are trying to go woke are literally going broke, and God is going to judge them. And I love speaking this over them, that God will judge the media, the unrighteous media that has been lying and gaslighting and propagandizing the American people, that God will judge them, and their lies will be their downfall, and they won't recover. They won't recover. What will happen is godly, Christian, truthful people will come in and probably buy their assets, but the news will look different going forward. We'll never have the trust probably in the mainstream media that we have. No. And even the right, even if you're on the right, but you're biased, don't be biased. Like, speak the truth, and speak just the truth, and I think we're going to see a transition coming up. Probably even this year, as it relates to truth and the media, but also as it relates to giants falling in this country. And again, Trump embracing not just the next generation, but the generation beyond. Trump isn't doing this even for his kids anymore. He's doing it for the grandkids. And I love
exactly.
that.
So, and it was my grandson, like, he was the only one there with me. And another thing that I noticed that kind of stuck out to me was that the buildings were like 4 and 5 story. And when the first, so like that's 45. And then when I first was trying to like get a grasp on my surroundings, it was either 4 or 5 buildings. And I was on the 4th or the 5th floor. So there was a lot of 4 and 5.
Wow. 4 and 5. That's really cool. 45, obviously.
Yeah.
By the way, if you've had a dream about giants, yell "I" in the comments. I want to see how many people are dreaming about giants, because we're getting more and more people are dreaming about giants, and they're sending them in. And by the way, you can send in a dream if you go to dreamlifedakota.com and click on submit a dream. We love your dreams about giants. I've been studying giants, reading books on giants and the Nephilim and everything else because of some dreams that we've had. So thank you, Gwen, for coming on and sharing your dream. That was such a great dream. We loved it.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being here.
Maybe I'll share my other Donald Trump dream next time.
All right. Sounds good.
Right.
We'll see you then.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. Wow. All right. Linda had one. Debbie's son had one. All right. Anybody else? All right. ZZ had one. All right. That's 3 other giant dreams. People are, wow, that's amazing. I love that. The Gwen. All right. Let's bring on Joanne. Hi, Joanne.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, yeah. How are you?
Good. Where are you from?
Northern Ireland.
All right. In case there was a doubt.
It's very cold here still. We don't have our summer yet.
Wow. Yeah, you're in a sweater. Like, it is not
Yes.
sweater weather in Ohio. Though
It usually isn't. It's usually warmer here, but no, it's not good at the minute.
Wow. All right. Well, Ash from the UK says hi.
Yeah, hi Ash.
Hey, Ash, you can hop on if you want. You didn't see the link. All right. Let me post the link again real quick here for people that. All right. Ireland in the house. Hi, Joanne. Yes. Sweater weather in Nashville. What? All right. Cool. Tell us your dream, Joanne.
Yeah, so this dream is a really negative dream. And I know that you teach that all dreams are from God. And it was really quite upsetting even after I woke from it. So I was really struggling with it, and it's really stuck with me. So I'm looking forward to getting your perspective on it.
Yes.
So this was a couple of weeks ago. It was the early hours of Monday morning, the 3rd of June. So I'm in a small, dimly lit room, and I'm aware that there's a room next door to it. So all of the dream, there's not very much action. It's all thinking and knowing. So the room is dimly lit. I don't know what time it is, but I think it was dimly lit because there was no windows in the room. And in front of me was a wooden table or desk with a computer or a laptop on top of it. So I'm aware that very soon I'm going to have to walk in next door to be hanged, like execution, hanged.
Wow.
Yeah, it's horrible. So I know that it's for something that the enemy had done, but I was getting blamed for it, that the enemy had done through me. It wasn't me, but legally it didn't matter. I was aware that I had tried to send an email to somebody, like a legal person, like a solicitor or lawyer, was hoping that they would reply that because it was the enemy or demons that I couldn't be punished for it, and that I would be free. The email arriving would stop the hanging happening, but the email wasn't coming. I kept checking desperately, and every time I checked, there was nothing there from the person. I was aware that I would need to be walking into the next room for the hanging, and I was aware that it would take place at 11 minutes past the hour. So I don't know what time it was or what hour it was, but I knew that whenever it was 11 minutes past the hour, that's what it would happen. So I needed to go in there for that time. So at this stage, it was around 9 minutes past, and I was praying and I was saying I trusted God and He's faithful, but the email still wasn't coming through. And so I was starting to think I would need to move into the next room. And then I started to think I would need to phone my mum and dad and let them know where I had money so that they would be okay. I started thinking about how my friends would find out that it had happened. And then I started wondering, could I ask them to sedate me or give me some sort of medication so that I wouldn't be aware of it when it happened? And then that's whenever I woke up and just was really upset at the kind of the last phone call to mum and dad and all that part of it.
This is such a fun dream.
Really?
I know I had to say
Okay.
that just for you because you're like, are you kidding me? I'm about to be executed. What's wrong with you?
It
So
was
this is
not
a
pleasant.
dream that it like hits at the core of your emotion because you don't know you're in a dream. Like nobody tells you, hey, this is a dream. Like, psych, just kidding, blah, blah, blah. But like the imagery is, I mean, it's like a film noir, you know. It was a dark, dimly lit room with a wooden desk, and 11 past the hour I would be hanged for my crime, but I didn't do it. I'm awaiting the email. Yeah, like this is so good. Like God is such a cool storyteller. I just love how he tells this. First of all, the dream's not literal. So just break off that. There's no assignment on you for you to die or anything like that. Um, but it's a fascinating dream because, and everybody wants to know what was the time. And she said it was she was going to be executed at 11 past the hour, but she didn't know what hour it would be. But people are hearing 11th hour. Was the time 11:11? I thought, could it be 9:11? Which would be interesting because that relates to a whole bunch of things over on this side of the pond. Um, but I love that it was 11 past the hour, and it was when you had to do the walk of death, you know, the dead man walking, as they say in the movies, and they transport you from one room to the execution chamber where you get to meet God. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. You know, you're just going to go to heaven. It's no big deal. Right. So you have an impending encounter with God. So look at it that way, you know, right? But it's 9 past the hour. So I hear 2-minute warning. And I think what's really, yes, the final countdown. Monica's on it with the song thing tonight. I hear these, the final countdown. You know, every time somebody posts this song, yeah, we got Ash rocking out there with no hair, but you know, he's trying to, you know, anyway. So the whole 9/11 thing, I just think it's really, really cool. Yeah, like the move, like the game Hangman. Has
It
anybody
was
had a
interesting
dream about being
because
executed? By the way,
it
if you
was
have,
interesting because there was nobody else there. It wasn't like there was guards. There was
uh-huh.
nobody, you know, I just knew that there was nobody making me do it, but I knew it was going to happen unless this email came through.
Yes. Well, it's interesting. You didn't know I love what Susan says here, and Kathleen agrees, and I agree too. It didn't. You didn't know what hour it was, but you knew at 11 past the hour was when you were to be executed, and you knew that it was 9 past the hour. So the two numbers that we have are 9/11. But the order that you're given them is 11:9. But 9 comes before 11. And so it would be 9, and that's the 2-minute warning, and then 11. And so there's so much with this song, or with that song. You guys got me talking about songs, Monica. There's so much with this, what we're saying about the 2 minutes till and 11 past, and there's the whole 9 and the 11. And I just love this because I feel like what God is saying is, yes, there's impending judgment. Yet you knew that it wasn't you that did it. It was the enemy that did it, like through you. And so what I feel like is you're representing not yourself, but a group of people. And you're representing a group of people that have been a part of an action that warrants the death penalty. And you're waiting on email to come in. And I don't think they give laptops to people on death row. You know, so you're sitting there waiting at a desk for an email to come, and you're at the point where you're calling mom and dad, and here's where my money is, and you're thinking of your friends and how are they going to find out. Like you're literally you're going through, God puts you in this thing, so you're literally going through the process of like your final thoughts and preparing yourself, which is amazing. But I think what's really, really cool about this is the numbers 9/11, the fact that you know you didn't do anything wrong, the fact that you feel like you're going to die, but you're not just going to die, you're going to be executed, which is a judgment. It's a judgment that has been issued, meaning a crime that involves a mortal sentence. Yeah, I was thinking of the leaked emails too, Tiffany. Nailing it on that one. Yes. And it's at the 2-minute warning. So what's happening is there are people that have been tried and likely sentenced that their time is very, very short. They're at the 2-minute warning before they actually are going to be executed. And I believe that what this is saying is this is talking about the judgment of God on certain people and certain types of people, related to things like the best example is the first dream in the Bible, the dream of Abimelech, the human trafficking king, where God appears to him and says, "You're dead. You're as good as dead, you and all your people." He puts him under a death sentence, and then he says the only way to get out of it is give Sarah back to Abraham. Go talk to my friend Abraham. He's a prophet. He will pray for you and you will live. That's it. So you have an out too, in that if you get an email, it stops the walk of death. You don't have to go into the next room. If you can get the email, it's 2 minutes till, and you don't have the email. And now you're like, wow. Now in the dream, do you ever go into the other room?
No, it's just that thought process. This email isn't coming through. I'm going to have to go in here, and just those thoughts, and that's whenever I woke up.
Yes. Yeah. So so you didn't get the stay of execution, but you didn't get executed either. So you were just like a microcosm in that dream, in somebody's body during like a 2 or 3 minute time frame where you know that 11 passed, I have to go and get killed, and it's 9 passed, and you're waiting and you're checking the emails, and you got to call mom and dad, and you're thinking of your friends, and you're just having those, like God's put you in this situation, like in virtual reality, for just these few moments to feel what it's going to be like for people who are in that situation. And I just love what Kathleen says here, and that's kind of what I hear, is the unjust have run out of time. You know, there's no email coming that's going to save them. There's no little bit of evidence. There's no lies from the media. There's no, God himself is going to deal with them. They have been sentenced. They have been tried. They have been sentenced. Judgment has been passed. And now, yes, the panic is setting in. Yes, exactly. It's Haman's noose. You know, I love the fact that you woke up, so you're spared of even seeing the next room. You don't even see what's coming, but you just have this knowingness. And the email is the reprieve, but it's not coming. It's not coming for the wicked. So, wow, I love this. This is a great dream. That's why it's such a good dream, because the dream isn't about you, and you're not going to die, and you're not under execution or anything like that. But God is giving you a visceral feeling of what it's like to be in that situation and what it's like to feel. And guys, if there was ever a time, it's not time constantly to repent. We've talked about this before. Sometimes there's a time of awakening, and there's a time of discovery, and there's a time that God is showing spiritual roots of things. But when you're 2 minutes to being executed, if there was ever a time to repent, this is it. And I feel like this is where we're at with the wicked. You know, again, in on this side of the pond, the Supreme Court is handing down decisions. There are things that are being thrown out. There are whole entire lies that they've built for 3 years to try to prevent eventualities from happening. Their whole entire world is crumbling. The media's world is crumbling. The liars are having their tongues cut out. The politicians are running scared, trying to hide their corruption, trying to find a way out, trying to see if there's any reprieve. And there's nothing that can stop what's coming, and what's coming is the judgment of God. And I love it. Yeah, there's so many connections to this. But anyway, great dream. I love this dream. This is such a cool dream. Ash, any thoughts?
The fact I was innocent in it, but being falsely accused.
Uh-huh.
What about that bit?
That's
I think that was
interesting.
God's protection of wanting you to know that this dream is not about you. Go ahead, Ash. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. I was going to say that this is because someone said 11:11, and when they said 11:11, I got 2 frames of a door, and in the dream you're constantly talking or being shown that there's one door, and then there's another door to go into, and there's 2 sides to this. So you said in the dream as well, you were shown that you tried to go through the legal system, the lawfare system, but that wasn't working because it was corrupt. So the same legal system that didn't work for you or we the people, Nicole said, representation of DJT. I picked up that's correct because he represents the people. So the current legal system isn't working for we the people. it was used as a weapon against him, hence against us or the American people. So you've got two doors, but this is turned around now. We had this a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, John, with another sister that come on, and she was literally seeing and looking through the eyes of, okay, this is the same for you, Joanne. Exactly the same for you, but you're seeing it through the perspective of the enemy, what's going to happen to them. But at the beginning, you're experiencing what we, the people, have gone through. And then the Lord switched it around and said, now you're going to see the panic. Now you're going to see the judgment. Now you're going to see the fear and the panic within the enemy's heart. They're not getting away with what you believe or what we perceive for them to be getting away with. So there's two doors there that I saw that were open. So really interesting and really reassuring as well.
This is an amazing dream. I love it because it's troubling. I love it because it shocked you. I love it because you wake up in a cold sweat, like, oh my gosh, what the heck was that? And then it sticks in your mind where you're like, what did I do? Like, is this about me? And that's the feeling that God wants to have. It's the same feeling that he gave Pharaoh. Pharaoh woke up and he was so troubled by his two dreams that he couldn't go back to sleep. Same thing with Nebuchadnezzar. So troubled, didn't understand what was going on. And of course, since it's your dream, the biggest assumption in all of mankind in the dream world is to assume it's about you. But just like Nebuchadnezzar's dream and just like Pharaoh's dream, it wasn't about them. But Abimelech's dream, it was about him, and he was under a death sentence, and he had one shot to make it right. And so I think it's interesting that you're like, I didn't do this. I wasn't the perpetrator here. That's God letting you know that this isn't about you. This isn't a death sentence on you, that you're not being judged. There's nothing that's coming towards you, but he's showing you. And I just think it's so interesting. We could spend the next hour wanting to unpack, why did he give you this dream? That's a question, in fact, if I were you, that I would ask him and go back to God before you go to sleep. Say, God, why did you give me that dream? And what else? Because I feel like there's more to it than we can cover right now. But I think it's amazing that you had this dream, and the times that we're living in, particularly again on this side of the pond, is just incredible. So thank you for sharing. You had to be really brave to share that one. That was like,
thank you.
Am I under judgment? Help! Like, what's going on?
What have I done wrong?
Yes. So you really had to like open yourself up and lay it on the line. Like, okay, guys, tell me, please. Somebody send an email. But I think the email was the interpretation. So you don't have to worry. You're not under judgment. This is not about you. The wicked are on their 2-minute warning, and we're about to see what's going to happen. So
actionable intelligence.
The actionable intelligence isn't for you, it's for them, and it's repent. And it's get your affairs in order. Call your mom and dad. Think about how your friends are going to remember you. But like the dream of Abimelech, there was one out. If you're a human trafficker, if you're a drug trafficker, if you're involved in political corruption, if you're on the take, if you're the president of the United States, or you work for him and you're corrupt, or if you're in Congress, or if you're in Parliament, or if you're anywhere, if you're a leader in the European Union or a head of state, and for some reason you happen to be listening this tonight and you're doing wrong, you have a 2-minute warning. You better get right now, in hopes that the almighty living God will give you an opportunity that is a stay of execution, and that you could maybe escape with your life. That's the actionable intelligence.
And you just might be, Joanne, you might be the prophet that this dream is directed to, that the human trafficking king needs to go to ask for prayer, so they can be forgiven, and the curse is broken off of them and their heritage, and they actually get an opportunity, not to avoid the punishment, but actually for their soul and their lives to be saved, so they get to heaven. So think about that. think about if there's anybody that within your country with Ireland, I know they're going through a very hard time with the whole immigration thing and the corruption, like a lot of places. But think about this. Is there anybody that you can ask the Lord who you need to pray for that are not righteous, but you can present yourself to say, use me, Lord, for their soul to be delivered to heaven so they don't go to hell? Maybe you are that prophet or representation of a person that can have that praying, powerful effect to actually hit someone in the right area to save their life.
Yeah. Wow. I love this dream, Joanne, and I love your courage to share it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. That's a lot more peaceful than what I was thinking.
Yeah. You're amazing. Thanks for coming on. Come back,
Thanks.
especially when you get another dream, or if you hear more about this one. We'd love to hear how it works out.
I will.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye. By the way, if you don't know Ash West is a rock star. He's a prophetic voice from England. We just recently visited. He flew across the pond, and we spent a couple of days together. Had an absolute blast. Crashed in on Diana Larkin, and got to do a short little broadcast there. But he's an incredible, amazing dreamer. Not only is he a dreamer, he's a prophetic voice in this generation, and God is raising him up. And he's an up and coming emerging prophet. I don't know how long you wear the title of emerging prophet before they just call you a prophet, but anyway, he's kind of new on the scene. A lot of people haven't, he doesn't have a church. He doesn't do all this stuff. Yes. And he's single. Yes. Levon, thank you for we are not pimping out Ash West on live stream, but yeah, he's been everywhere. Word is that what Pam says here.
Yeah.
We want him to move to America. But he's a great dreamer. He's an incredible, humble man. He's a guy that just is really feeling some things prophetically and sharing them. And yes, he is on point. And so I love having him on. He does a lot of programs with myself and Diana Larkin, where I first heard of him because of his dreams on the Watchman's Journal. And then Diana called me one time and said, "Hey, would you like to meet Ash West?" And I knew him because of how God speaks to him in dreams. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be amazing. And then, well, why don't you come on? Why don't we do a show together? And Ash will share a dream, and then we can all three interpret it together. And that's, by the way, what I see God is doing right now is he's bringing a company of people together to do what we call spiritual intelligence, where it's not one person with a microphone. I'm the man of power for the hour, and this is the word of the Lord for the nation. Like, those days I feel like are over with because they've been so abused and they've been so misaligned, and there's been all kinds of bad stuff that's happened with that. And we're not here to talk about the bad stuff in the prophetic. We're here to announce the new and talk about what God is doing. What God is doing is bringing companies of humble people like Diana Larkin, like Ash West, like Brian Palencia, and others, and so many like Joanne, like Gwen, like people that we see here, Levon, people that are sharing dreams even on this platform. And we all come together, and it's like, let us reason together. What are you hearing from God? What do you hear, brother? What do you hear, sister? And then we celebrate the voice of God through you. And so part of the reason why we do this, and the way that we do this, is we do this through training people. And we have to train people because we've realized that there are people that have worked in dreams under other ministries, and they don't get this kind of training. Yes, I like that, the cluster anointing. And so what we've done is we've developed what we call a spiritual intelligence mentorship. And to be part of the spiritual intelligence mentorship, you have to apply. We've closed registration for the summer. My people are going to hate me. The reason we close registration on Friday is because we have to vet everybody. So if you apply, then your name goes to a group of intercessors who then pray over you and say, God, who is Ash West? And then they hear from God, and then they look at your social media, they look at your resume, you send in a few things, and then we do an actual background check, and then they have to sign an NDA, and that's to be approved to be in the program. And so it works really good if, like, the orientation is this Friday. And so if we cut off registration last Friday, that would be great. But we had a special event this last weekend, and we opened it up for the special event, and we had like a bunch more people that joined in. But you know what? We still have a couple of slots left. So I'm going to do this. If you haven't been, if you've been wanting to join Sim and you're like, man, I missed the registration for the summer, you can still get in between now and when the orientation starts this Friday. And my people that do my vetting, you're just going to have to forgive me. But let me just share with you a little bit about what what Live Dreams is and what it looks like. I'm sorry, not Live Dreams, but the Spiritual Intelligence Mentorship. We live in a world with much confusion, propaganda, and outright lies. It's hard to know what's real, what's false, and what's really going on. Do you have even one source that you can trust? And I mean really trust. Can you imagine leading a state or an army or a nation in this environment? What if you heard from God every day about your life, your purpose, and your future, and you understood with clarity what to do? Imagine hearing so clearly that He even trusted you with intelligence to advise leaders desperate for answers. Hi, I'm John Redenbo, and I have the honor of leading the Spiritual Intelligence Mentorship, an in-depth program where a team of people work with you in a highly structured atmosphere to teach you how to decode the encrypted language of God through dreams. If you're up for the challenge, I invite you to apply today. Register at spiritualintel.com. I love this. We love doing Sim. We love having people involved in Sim. Ash, what do you think about Sim? What's your experience been?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you very much for the elevating, the big upping. It's a real humbling blessing to come from you as well. It really does mean a lot. And from everybody here, I love you guys. You're really special. But I'm no different. We're no different. The guys and girls within the spiritual Intel community are no different. And you'll discover that when you come on board with the family. There's no coincidence. John was talking about the family at the beginning of this recording, and it truly is. You get an opportunity as well to be invited to a weekly prayer call, which was very precious and still now is to me. There is just this big emphasis on the family. And John's right. This is a movement that is changing the way the body of Christ operates, just on a surface level. There's so many people I've spoken to since I was over in Iowa with Julie and everybody else, that they are taking so much more notice and detail of their dreams, because you'll hear John talk about this, or Matey or Kerry or anybody else that comes on with him. It's the nuances. It's the little details that we just look past and we think, oh, car means ministry and the typical things. When you look, well, what was in the car? What was the color? Were you driving on the right side, or was the steering wheel on the left side? Were you wearing a seatbelt? All these different things, these little details that make the massive, great big difference to the message that the Lord is giving you. And this is what I love about it more than anything else, John, is you don't, and again, we love the prophets, we love the prophetic voice, we love the evangelists, we love the fivefold. But like John said, this is not the season, I believe, with him, that it's the man for the power for the hour, or the woman for that matter. It's about the body coming together, moving camp in one motion. Everybody has their designated area and strength, and we move together. And we go and we take back, or we take the land of Canaan. We cross over the river Jordan. We hear constantly the enemy threatening us all the time. Well, God speaks to us in dreams to tell us what they're going to do, where they're going to do it, and when they're going to do it, and how they're going to do it. And it's that information that he doesn't need to speak through a prophet to speak to you directly. Then it's down to you, which you will learn in the course, how to decipher this information, to go through the Enigma machine, pick out the key words, and then have it all there at a level that even I didn't perceive or understand at the beginning of this training. how in depth you can really, really, really go. And there is so much more I will say, but you in this instance with dreams in particular, we hear prophets like Brother Robin Bullock say, "You become the prophet of your own life," and this is so true when it comes to dreams. It really is. So I just want to encourage everybody, if you can get in on this, even if you're not looking from a spiritual intelligent perspective and you don't want to advance, but just for the messaging, the voice of God speaking directly to you and you hearing that opens up the gates for everything. So you start to journal, you start to see visions more clearly, you can decipher those as well as prophetic words that you receive. So I really want to encourage everybody. This is for you. This is not for this is not for Dream Life Decoded. This is not for a company. This is not for a course. This is for you. So you can then go and equip the saints and go and do your part in this war, because we are at war. This is not a kumbaya season for everybody around the world. We need all the help we can get. And God is willing to give you the help. He's giving you the help by the message. So the more interpreters we can get on the ground, the more intel we can pass to the people that can actually go and do what they were born for this time right now, as you are. So I really encourage people to get on board.
For this time.
Amen.
Don't say for such a time as this. God's been checked me on that. I know I love Esther 4:14, and I would say perhaps for such a time. And God's like, for this time. And I'm like, wow, yes, sir. But there's a difference. It changes your thinking. So thank you, Ash. Thank you for your comments, my friend. And I think our sound's cutting in and out. I don't know if it's mine or yours, but
probably mine.
Yeah. Ash's sound is good for me. It sounds amazing. Well, I kind of tipped our hand a little bit earlier, but I just want to say that next week, actually, no, it's not next week. It's in 2 weeks. We're doing live dreams, Nightmares edition. People love this. People love this because of dreams like Joanne just shared. I mean, it's just such a powerful dream. Freaks you out. You're like, what the heck? Or like the dream about the giants, right? Dreams about weird creatures, and you're like, what the heck is that? Or dreams about stuff going on in cities. We've gotten a lot of dreams about dragons in New York, and we've gotten a lot of dreams about giants. Again, if you've had a dream about a giant or a dragon, write giant or dragon in the comments. We just love seeing. The reason why we do this is because it's the same reason why we collect your dreams when you send them in. We don't have time to interpret every dream that gets sent in, but we honor the voice of God through you. And we add that to our encrypted database, where when we have a dream about a giant or a dragon in New York, you're a part of the voice that we're using to hear what God is saying for the whole nation. And we're advising leaders. Some are political leaders, some are high-level governmental leaders, and some are church and spiritual apostolic leaders. And so when we're looking at dragons and giants, we would love to have your voice as part of that and what God is saying to you through dreams. And so feel free to send us your dreams. Again, you can send us the dreams. Let me bring up the banner. You can just go to dreamlifedecoded.com and you can submit a dream there. But yeah, so please do that, because there's so much. I don't even call dreams bad dreams, allegedly bad dreams, nightmares anymore. In fact, I actually have prayed for nightmares. And to me, nightmares are like Joanne's dream. It's so vivid and it feels so real that you wake up like, what the heck was that? And there's no I forgot what that was. Oh, you remember those. Those are right there in your face. And those are so amazing. So yeah. What are we saying? Yes, share the ones of your grandson. Yeah, okay. So giant. Here's a giant. Somebody's having dreams about giants. Giants and dragons. Lorraine, please send us those dreams. Linda, giant. All right. Ooh. I had a few years ago. My son killed a dragon as a 12-year-old. Oh, I love this.
Nice.
The benevolent giant. Well, that's a new take. Dragon 2023. Wow. Threesome dragons flying over the roof of an apartment as I'm standing out the living room window. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. Joanne's like, there was no forgetting that dream. Waiting for the email on the stay of execution. There was no forgetting it at all. All right. Let's bring on Sherry. Hey, Sherry. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Good. Good to see you.
Hey, Sherry.
Hi, Ash. You were talking about giants, and I don't have it pulled up, but I did have it. I had a dream with a giant serpent in the sky, but I don't have it pulled up. But yeah,
Wow.
so that one, I remember my husband and I, we both had like blue power in our hands. I don't know. I'll have to pull that one up. I don't have that one pulled up. Those are the two things I remember. I remember I was at a mayor's house. She was a blonde woman, and I don't know. Anyway, so, but yeah, just talking about giants. That's the only thing that popped into my mind.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But the dream I do have pulled up is from February 24th of this year.
Okay.
And had, so Trump was in the master bathroom of my childhood home. So in my parents' bathroom. And then I noticed his legs seemed really strong, not like a 70 or 80-year-old's. And then some brownish looking liquid with lots of gold speckles started to pour out from him. And I knew it was God's glory. And there was about 4 to 8 other people there in the room, but I was the first to reach out and touch it on the floor, the liquid. And I'd had something in my hand before I reached out, like a curling iron. But I put it down to reach for the glory because I knew that was a better choice. And I rubbed it on myself on my arm. And I was so happy because it was like a supernatural experience. And then after a few minutes, some other people came in, 1 or 2 at a time. Some had saw the glory and others couldn't see anything on my hand. And that was it.
This is beyond amazing. I love this dream. This is a phenomenal dream. I feel like, first of all, God is addressing the indictments. And that's the whole thing about legs. There's a legal term, which is it's all about being in standing or good standing or having the standing to bring a case. And if you followed like the election integrity things where there were so many people, so many good, incredible, amazing attorneys that were working to see, can we audit something? There's questions here. We want to audit them. And what was happening is they were getting denied standing. You don't have the standing to bring this case. And so when the media gets on and says, well, all of this election stuff has been debunked. No, it has not. It's an absolute lie. And they know it's a lie. And I'm going to tell them to their face every single time it's a lie, because the excuse was from judges, we don't have the courage because people are threatening us and our families, or we don't want the hot potato. And so they were saying things like, you don't have standing. Well, if the American people don't have standing to see if an election was legit or not, then who does exactly? Like, are you kidding me? So I don't know all the legal. I'm not a lawyer. I have friends that are, that even work in this area. But like the idea of Trump having strong legs and being in good standing, I think is phenomenal. I think what it means is justice is coming and he will have his day. He will have his day in court. But I also think it's really interesting that this is in the bedroom, your parents' bedroom, the master suite in your childhood home, right?
Yeah, the master bathroom.
The master bathroom.
Yep.
Interesting. Oh, the bathroom. I thought you said
master
bedroom.
Bathroom. Yeah.
Wow. See, that changes a lot. Because a bathroom is where you go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I just remember because it was a long time ago, but all their faucets and fixtures were all gold in that bathroom. But yeah, anyway, so just a little detail.
Wow. I love that. And of course, obviously the liquid glory, but when you're in a bathroom, there's typically 4 reasons why people go to bathrooms. One is to hide, to be alone, the secret place. 2 is to cleanse, like to wash your face or straighten up your hair or whatever. 3 is to self-reflect. Women go check their makeup in the mirror when they're at the restaurant, and they go together as a group, or whatever. But 4 is to also release things that no longer serve you. And these can be mindsets. They can be all kinds of different things that no longer serve you. And so there's a level of dumping, but I never really thought of it this way. There's also a level of exposure. Now, we don't get an indication that that's what he was there doing.
Right.
He was in the bathroom, but it's a place of exposure. It's a place of releasing. It's a place of dumping. It's a place where things that no longer serve us are let go of. And his legs are strong. And then there's this brown liquid with gold flecks that is like pouring out of him. Mm-hmm. And people see it. Like there's 4 to 8 people that are there. So it's a crowded bathroom.
Yeah. That is.
So he's not there to do his business, but he's in this place, which is a secret place, which represents the idea of intimacy, inner circle, people around him, people in a place, people that can see that he has good standing, people that are familiar with what he's going through and say, wow, he has good standing, or he has good standing before the Lord. I think of how it was said of Jesus, he grew in wisdom and stature and favor with God and man. And I believe that that's what God is saying, particularly in this case, in this dream about Trump, is that he's in good standing before God, and that now God is going to begin to express his glory through this man. So I think that's phenomenal. I love the fact that you were an early adopter. You jumped right in, you picked up the gold, you began to I want some of that. I want some of that. So it's not any gross bodily discharge kind of a thing. So just because it's brown liquid in a bathroom, don't let your mind go there. Nope. It's in a place where there's no privacy, right, Nicole? There's 4 to 8 people in this bathroom. But we're in this intimate setting where you're seeing the glory come out of him in such a way. And I believe that this means several things that God is doing. He has like the fixtures at Mar-a-Lago and at, the Trump hotels and things, like he has gold everywhere. Gold is a signature color for President Trump. And so it's interesting that you would have a dream about gold just oozing out of him in what almost feels like an olive oil kind of sense, and when you press olives, that's when you get the oil. And he's being pressed and pressured with all of the indictments and everything himself and his family and his friends and his attorneys and his confidants and those that have stood by him are going through this. It's not just him. I think he would prefer it was just him, but it's not. But I feel like what we're going to see is the glory that's going to come out, because God is doing a work with this man, and he's showing us that through your dream. Awesome. Ash, what are your thoughts?
A lot of things you picked up, John, and a lot of things everybody else is picking up. Strong standing, the gold liquid, or the flakes of gold within the brown liquid. Again, the 4 to 8 people at the beginning of the dream, it's the master bathroom, so the family. You said your parents, and I looked 4 to 8 people, and if you look directly at his family, I think you've got the 3, 1, 2, 3 kids. You got the 3 children, then you got the grandchildren, then you got the wife. So, and then you've got the in-laws. So I think that makes 8 in total. You could look at that. But I did have a question for you, Shelley.
Yeah.
When you rub this stuff on you, and again, I just feel led to ask this, did you put it on your right arm? Can you remember what arm you put it on? Or was it just you went both?
Right. I think I reached for it with my right arm and I rubbed it into my left arm.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It was just a question I was led to ask. I don't know why, but I'm just asking it. And again, all the gold. I mean, I've literally, myself and Matey, we were blessed to actually go and visit Trump Tower a few weeks ago in New York. And the place is just covered with gold. So if you want to talk about gold, everything, that's the place to go. And it kind of looks that brownish, but everything's flaky with the gold and reflective. And you've got the American flag there. You've got, it's just everybody in that place seems to reflect the true identity of America.
Right.
That's what that place represents. And I believe this family home here, as well as him being the parent, the
Right.
governing body, the head or the master of the house, the United States of America, and what he's building, this is his trademark with his gold, but his father, his master above him, the family home that he's in and we're all in, the foundation of his is reflective of the United States of America, of gold, of glory, of his people. So I just love the fact here that, again, I just keep getting this word reflective. And again, someone coming into this could be, oh yeah, we could go to the nasty, disgusting thing straight away with the brown stuff. But it wasn't that. And I love it at the end here where you say, and you're showing, some people accepted this and ran to this and literally were choosing it, and some didn't.
Right. Yeah. Some people could see it on me when I was so excited and I turned around and was showing other people my hand. You know, some people could see it and some people couldn't see anything. They're like, what? I don't see it, you know? So, yeah.
Wow.
And that's it. This is, again, a reflection, isn't it? Reflection of the glory, the gold, not just for you, yourself, which it is a message to you, but also to, again, the mission, the home, the family of the United States of America and God's glory within it, the covenant within it. So, yeah, I'll leave it there. But amazing dream. Love this.
Yeah, that is amazing. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love that. I think that says a lot. I think it's an interesting juxtaposition between the Joanne's 2-minute warning to this, the execution and not being granted to stay, and to being in good standing and oozing oil as you're being pressed. Wow, there's a lot here. Thanks for being a part of our family and for coming on and being brave and sharing that dream with us, Sherry. I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys have a good one. Appreciate it.
All right. You too.
Thank you, Sherry. God bless.
Bye-bye. Wow. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for continuing to share. Let's do chastity.
Okay, I'm here. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I've been watching these the past few weeks, and I had wanted to pull out some old dreams, and I did, but then, and I shared them with my kids, and then I was like, they're too old. They're from 2 years ago, and I didn't know what value that they had. And then just 3 nights ago, I had basically the same patterns. Everything was similar. So then I'm like, okay, I got to share it now, because now it's apparently still relevant, not something that was past. So
Chastity, by the way, is a personal friend of mine. I actually know Chastity. So I'm always excited to see you on. Thanks for joining us.
I'm glad to be here. So so in the stream, I'm at what I refer to as a Texoma party. Texoma is an oil and gas company that my ex-husband and I used to work at. He currently works at, and my son works at right now. So then I'm just gonna start. So ex-husband, company I used to work for, and they both work for right now. So it's some sort of party or event, and Ryan is telling me how proud I would be of our son Austin, because they have him in some kind of, he's been in all these books studying for his job, and that he had pages and pages of questions that he wanted to bring to his boss, but he was nervous about it because the content of it. But the boss was happy and glad because he had spent hours on it and his thirst for knowledge of it, and that he was taking it seriously. Then something happened, and Ryan said later, Ryan came up to me and said, later when they announced the dance, I need you to go out there with me. And I thought, he's joking. Like, again, he's my ex-husband. That's just, anyway. He said, but then music starts and he says, come on, let's go. And so we go out there, and I'm a little bit nervous because I'm sober. I'm not not used to dancing in front of people sober, I guess. But when we go out there, instead of dancing together, he ends up like sitting next to some sort of coworker doing some little chair routine. I don't know. And so I feel awkward and out of place. And so I kind of turn to some random man who's sitting there and I ask him if he wants to get up and dance with me to the music. So then he does. And he's very accommodating and nice about it. But then after we stop doing that, or the song ends, another woman approaches me and she says, me and my ex-husband, and she's like, oh my gosh, I like her. She's going to hang with me the rest of the whole night. And so then we start to head upstairs to do something, and we are passing by these men, and a strange older man looks at me, and he kind of, I guess, lustfully looks at me. Like, it's really awkward to me. He's just all like, I just don't get good vibes from him. So I'm trying to kind of like avoid him as I'm passing by him. But what I realized at that moment is that I'm on a balance beam. So me and that lady and then another woman behind me are trying to pass through, and these guys are making it awkward. And so then all three of us end up like falling, but I didn't fall all the way off. One of the girls did, but the one I was with, I like end up catching her with my legs so she doesn't fall off the balance beam, and I lift her back up. Let's see where I'm at now. Hold on. So, but she still bumped her head, so that was interesting. Then again, she tells Ryan how awesome I am, and that then this other couple walks in, and as we're saying goodbye, the girl says something like Allah, which is in New Mexico, there's like just slang that a lot of people use. And I tell this girl, oh my gosh, my best friend used to say that all the time. And I go, are you from New Mexico? And she goes, no, I'm not, but my husband is. And so she brings her husband over there to tell me, and then let's see. And then she looks at her husband and both look at Ryan and they go, where have you been hiding her this whole time? But so that's it. I basically wake up at that point. But the reason why I wanted to contact you is because I mean, it was when I pulled out the dreams from I found out the time that I was dreaming these dreams was like 10 days back in February of 2022. And 8 out of the 10 dreams had people from his employer, Soma, were at some sort of party or wedding. And then at least 2 of them included my son. And I'm not even sure if Austin was working there at that time or not. But so there's the info.
Wow. I love this. There's so much detail. I love how you've done a really good job of writing this stream down and like journaling every piece of it. And the details are so important. And I just feel like there's so much. It's really interesting that there's Ryan is in it. So, your ex, which can represent your past, even though I know obviously you have kids and he's still in your life. And then your son, which is also part of your future. Mm-hmm. So there's a component of the past, but there's part of the future. Somebody wants to know, is your son married?
My son is not. No, he's single. He's 28 now, right now.
Okay. Cool. So part of it is about your past and even the company. I don't know that you have anything to do with the company anymore. Do you?
I don't anymore. But even the way I left was kind of a weird situation. But I do. I even like cut off that company entirely kind of when I did my husband at the same time. He was part of that. And I just kind of put all of that.
So it's part of your past, both the company, the relationship. So I think it's interesting. Obviously, your son is not, though. Your
Correct.
Son is not part of your past. He's part of your future. And even though there's something that may be part of your past in unwinding relationships and things like this, especially with family dynamics, there's still a level there of, it's not like you're never going to see him again or anything like that, because kids and all of that. And so I think it's interesting that God is dealing with both your past and your future in this dream. You're the star of the dream.
Okay.
Which I think is awesome. And I love how this lady who you meet, like you're supposed to, even though it's past, even though it's a past company that you're no longer associated with, you're at this party, you're at this event. And then you get approached by somebody from your past who then says, why don't we dance together? And you're like, ooh, awkward. I don't know. This is weird, but you're kind of like, oh, okay, I guess, whatever. And so then you go out to the dance floor and the music starts, but you don't end up dancing with him.
Right.
And then there's this other person. That comes in. And this lady that just really like sees you for who you are, and it's almost like, and even the comment, where have you been hiding her? She starts with, I like her, we're going to hang together. And then it's like, where have you been hiding her? I feel like there's a level of exposure. Exposure is not the right word. There's a level of, I would like to say, promotion coming that you didn't enjoy before could be because of past situations that you've been in. I'm not saying anybody is right or wrong or the company or that. I don't know the situation. I'm just saying now you're not with Ryan. You're not a part of the company. But this lady is like, man, where have you been? I love her. Like, I want to be with her. I want to hang with her. Like, so yes, it's speaking to your reputation. Yeah, I'm not the only one feeling that. And then the whole idea of going up the stairs is the idea of another story. I feel like you're entering into another story of your life. The first part of your life was this situation, the company, the ex, the family, and now you're going into yet another story. And some of the characters are gonna be there and involved in the same. But I love what Levon says here. It's like balancing your old life with your new life, which I think is really, really good. Wow, people are just pouring in on the comments.
Oh, I'm like, can I get back to those? Where are they?
You can watch it.
Okay.
Go back and watch it. That's why I highlight them, is so when you watch this on YouTube, you can see all these comments. Your great life in you. Yes. I think people, fresh new ideas, balancing work and family life. Oh, I like what Kathleen says, releasing the past and unfolding the future, new dance, true identity, joy, comfort, and freedom to you. And literally the best of both worlds, like having your son and your family there, being a part, involved in their life, but being at a place where you're no longer under the thumb of some things that you have been in the past, whatever your position was with the company or whatever your position was with Ryan. Now people are like, who's this? Where's she been? Like, we love this girl. She's amazing. And it's interesting that even as you share this dream, and I know other people see this, like you just light up. See the countenance on your face. You can just see that, there's a whole new level of freedom and discovery and things that you're coming into. I thought it was interesting that you mentioned I was going to dance and I was sober, and I heard the idea of being sober-minded, which is being clear-headed. Like, if you've been through a divorce, a lot of us have been, it's like a fog, and you're like trying to find your identity and should I let go? Should I continue on? And then when you finally, there's a point where a decision is made, and then you're like, okay, now what? And there's still these relationships, and there's kids and family, and there's all of this stuff. But then then you enter a place. And some people, I think it takes years. It probably took years for me. You enter into this place where you're like now centered and balanced in who you are. And you're clear-headed and you're sober-minded. And the dance, which represents life and also freedom, is something that you can continue on and you can do. I love what Cynthia says here. The best is yet to come.
I'm looking forward to it. I can already tell. Well, it's okay. So more information I just want to add, because what made me truly focus on paying attention to my dreams, because they've always been in my mind, and I've even been in the habit of writing them down. But post-divorce, I really did have a problem with alcohol and was trying to get sober on my own and wasn't really feeling like I was able to. And this is when I was living in New Mexico. And then I remember I called my kids, I texted my kids. I woke up from a dream one day and I just was like 11/2/23. I've never woken up with numbers before though. Why are these numbers in my head? 11/2/23, 11/2/23. Well, then fast forward, I don't even realize this is the case except until after it occurred. But I actually entered a program on November the 2nd of last year, and that's when I got sober. So that's what made me remember, like, I have to pay attention to my dreams. Obviously, that's how God speaks to me. So I need to, anyway. So
I love that. I love that. And by the way, thank you for sharing that. That's so vulnerable and so open for you to say that. And that took so much courage and bravery to, and look at, people are like, awesome. Wow. Congratulations. I have chills. Victory. See, you don't even know when you share something like that out of your own experience or a level of brokenness or coming out of a past life, how many people that touches. If your life has ever been touched by alcohol, just put I, and my life has, not for me personally, but I've had family that horrible addictions and people almost dying and people dying early and overdoses. And if you've had that, yeah, just type that in.
And the friend that I was referring to in the dream, that when that person said Allah, well, my friend, she actually passed away, and she had a problem with alcohol, and that was the reason. So it's like, so apparently even that has a theme, because if I'm mentioning the fact that I'm sober, and then even if she comes to my dream or the thought of her, I don't know. I feel totally different. I mean, God is so good, because seriously, being sober-minded has been a game changer for me. Because even before I got into that issue, like before I got under, I guess, that influence so strongly, it was a casual thing. I rarely drank even, but as a Christian, I still was like, oh, it's fine. But I'm not of that mindset anymore. I really am not. There is a reason he wants sobriety, I think.
Yeah. I love what Nicole says. I think we all most likely have been affected by that. And Laurel just loves your testimony. And Mary says, I bless you, Chastity. And Maine was like, yes, it's a very dark disease. Thank you for having the courage to share this. You are precious. You got a fan club now. You're like part of the family. Yeah, like literally part of the dream is coming true. Like, I like this girl. Where has she been hiding? So I feel like even the interpretation of the dream is God is showing you that. Are you still in New Mexico?
No, I moved back to Texas when my grandson was born this February.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes,
that's so
thank
awesome.
You.
Yes.
Well, and I mean, again, back to dreams. When I pulled out those dreams, one of them included my son's wife, which he wasn't even married. My youngest son got married and had a kid. And like, one of the things in those dreams was there was this chick who was his wife, now I think anyways. And I had gone back to the car to get some alcohol. And it was like, honestly, my reason to get sober was I was going to become a grandmother. And I'm like, well, if there's any reason for me to make a change, it's now. No one wants a drunk gammy. So
that's amazing. I just had a friend that I've known for 30 years just go to rehab. His wife passed away and just said, you know what, it's time. I need to make, I need to make the change. And he's a grandpa too. And wow, I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
I'm so proud of you. Like, it's amazing. So many people. Yeah. My parents were alcoholics. So many families have been broken, because of alcoholism and addiction. And it is a hard beast to slay. And I'm just so proud of you for doing
God did such an amazing work. Like, I don't even know how to, I had the desire in my heart to quit, but it was deliverance. Like, I went that day and then haven't even given it a thought from that day forward. It's not even been an issue, like, at all. I've been around it, even been at parties, not that, like, birthday parties with my adult children, and they're drinking and their dads, and I've had no issues with any. It's God, completely God.
Wow. I love what Lucy says. You are alive and vibrant.
Yeah.
I feel it now. Thank you.
What do you say, Ash? You got anything to add?
I just say that this dream speaks to the now, we were just talking about for not such a time as this, but now this is your life right now. You're already at the top of those stairs. You've climbed it, and it's been difficult. And your foot trying to catch people again, trying to balancing act between the past and the now and your future. I think the other encompassing thing for me is really what speaks to me is you are at a party. And what usually happens at a party is that everybody comes together. That's the whole
Right.
point of a party, is like a unity. You can look at it within the family, the political party, a celebration. It's a unity. It's a coming together is usually the reason for it. And your dance, the first dance, wasn't the right dance, but there was like a gap filler. There was another gentleman that stood in the gap, therefore, which then led to the revealing of this vibrant, living, life-giving that identifies who you truly are and says, "I like her. I like her. I'm spending all my time with her." I believe that lady is you from the future, which you are now stepping into.
Wow,
Wow.
that's amazing.
Thank you.
And I just got God chills, so that's a confirmation. That is
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It's like, where has this woman been hiding? It's you. It's you. Wow. So many
Wow.
people are just like, you got to go back and watch the comments.
I will. I've been focusing on you guys, and I'm like, oh, I know there's a lot of activity over there. I'm like, ah.
I think Marie, how do you say it? Marisha says it all right here, is we are all proud of you.
No.
And even JC, you're not alone. And I love what I just found you can star comments. So I've starred some of these.
Okay.
I love this. Joanne says, you save the woman in your dreams from falling. Your walk is going to help others. And I can just tell in the comments, like, you're pinging on stuff that's close to home. I mean, I know our group here, and there's so many people whose lives have been affected by this. And
well, it's interesting. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, go ahead.
When Ash was saying unification, like, I just had a lady at church 2 weeks ago telling me that you have that anointing on you for unification, and I just a lot of things are just confirming, like, I'm on the right path. I don't feel like I have much influence, but okay. Anyway.
It's coming. You're so bright, and your energy is so amazing, and the glory of God even that's on you is just, I mean, it's wow. I don't think I've ever seen you like this
video. You watch this video and tell me that there's not an anointing there, and that you're not even stepping into your calling yet. You'll see the sister. You'll see the reaction of the people that you're touching through this dream and your testimony.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, it was for the now. Thank you, guys.
Yes. Thank you so much for being so brave and sharing everything that you did. I mean, you're a rock star, Chastity. You're awesome. And
thank you.
Yeah, wow. Keep going. So many people are, God will
encouraging. Thank you.
Yes. Rising and shining. Yep, that's you in this season. So you're part of our family. We do this every Tuesday. There's other ways you can connect, which you know how to get in touch with me too anyway. So I can't tell you how much you blessed our crew tonight. I don't know if you've been on before, haven't you?
I haven't. I mean, I've been watching, but I haven't engaged, I guess.
Yeah. Well, this was, wow, what a great first time to be on, because look at these comments. They just keep coming. Again, you are a hidden treasure.
Chas. It's like they know me.
Yep. God bless you, Chas. They do. They know you. She is bright. Oh, wow. This is awesome. Anyway, thanks so much for coming on. You really blessed us tonight.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. We appreciate you. Well, hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Sounds good.
All right. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Wow, guys, you don't know how many other people can be affected by just sharing a dream. You don't know how many other people are praying and hoping for their son or their daughter or their husband or wife or their mom or their dad to get the breakthrough that Chastity's experienced. And you can see it all over her face. And I love what Laurel says, shining so bright. And what Mady says, she is beautiful and sober, bright, beautiful, and sober. Yeah, I think it's just incredible. Overcomer's anointing. Yes, yes, yes. And guys, thank you. Again, she's a personal friend of mine. And so you guys just loved somebody that I know personally that, is a dear friend of mine, and you just love them so well just with your comments and with your encouragement. And that's why I love this community. This is why we do what we do. This is why we come on Tuesday. We weren't even gonna have it tonight. And I'm just like, you know what? I can make it work. I'm at my mom and dad's, but we'll throw up a curtain and make a backdrop. And it's a lot of work to put it all together. And then I'm like, oh, I told the person who was going to be on with me that they didn't have to be on, and now they made other plans. You know what? It all worked out. And thank you, Ash, for jumping in. We're not done yet. But I just wanted to get that out before we end and we forget.
Such an honor, and that again, I agree with everybody. That precious light, like literally, that's like 1 John, like verse 1-5, right there. The light of the world. He that is in you is greater than he that is in the world. Like that's a demonstration right there of the Lord's light in each and every one of us. Even if we go through these hard times, no matter what you're going through, you can come out with the light and the joy and the smile on that precious sister's face. It just touched so many people, even me. What a blessing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. Wow. Anyway, the comments just keep coming. All right, let's bring on Susie. We know Susie. I can't hear you. It doesn't say you're muted.
Oh,
I don't know. I just can't hear you. Yes, Matey was the one that was supposed to be on Ash. She's just asking for me. Yeah, I didn't want to.
You're better looking.
Bother you, Matey. I knew. I think we actually did reach out, but you had stuff going on. But thank you so much for coming on, Ash. And I was happy to do it by myself if we had to, but it's always fun to have backup.
It's an honor. Absolute honor.
Gates of hell will not prevail against Ash. Dawn wants to know if you have headphones.
Napping turtle took a voice.
Well, see if you can try to get it figured out, Susie. And if you do, give me a thumbs up or something, and we'll bring you back on. But in the meantime, let's bring on Brenda. Hi, Brenda.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
All right, good. I always hate when people ask that question. I don't know. I just, whatever. Okay, so this dream was from the end of either the end of 2021 or early January 2022. And I'm mentioning Jim a couple of times, and that's my husband. Okay, I dreamed Jim and I were in a dangerous cavern filled with dangerous water. On it were floating small islands of trash or some kind of disposed of material. Jim was standing on one, and I said, "Be careful, that might sink." I was sitting on something like the shore of this dangerous water, and the water's contents may have been acid or trash or heat, but it wasn't safe to touch or drink. All of a sudden, a huge eagle landed near me. It was a light tan. Then several more landed, and there were like 4 to 6 eagles in all. I wasn't sure if they were safe, but they weren't aggressive. So I reached out to touch the one closest to me. And the feathers on his upper leg were very soft and velvety, like a brand new microfiber blanket. he allowed me to touch him without much more than a glance at me, and then they all flew away. They just really all had very stern looks, and they just stood there and they looked around, and they stood. The one I touched, was standing close to me, and I felt like they were going to be coming back sometime, or I might have another dream about them. That's it.
So there were 4 to 6 of them.
Yes.
Wow. This reminds me of Lord of the Rings at the very end after they throw the ring, and then there's all this lava pouring down, and they're on this rock, and they pretty much accepted the idea that they're going to die, and they're exhausted, and they couldn't go anywhere if they could move. And then the eagles come, this group of eagles, and they gently pick them up, and they fly them off to safety. An encounter with eagles. Yes, it's interesting because we have a dream that we've been working on called the 5 Giants dream, and there's 4 eagles, or there's either 1 eagle in 4 different settings, or it's interesting because of certain things with an eagle in particular. I've been challenged recently on what does the eagle mean, and it's easy to say, well, the eagle is the United States, but it could actually be something else. And I love that in yours there's 4 to 6 of them together. Yes, Susan saw the Lord of the Rings thing. Also reminds me of being fed by the ravens. Yes, that's really interesting. I heard the eagle has landed. So what happened to your husband? Like, did he make it to safety? Did we find out?
We didn't find out what happened to him. He was just
yeah,
doing stuff. I felt like they were very protective, even though they all had just a stern look, kind of like how some people say angels are, that they're not, they're just stern looking, but they're there to help you, and they're doing, God's work for you.
Yeah. Diana Larkin mentioned brown eagles today from Russia, North Korea, and Japan. Interesting. I want to go back and hear that. Eagles are prophets. Yes, the eagle eye can be prophets. Seeing from a higher perspective. Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's the idea of supernatural help that literally flies in, that represents, eagles are in scripture. Again, recently, because of some conversations that I've had about eagles in this dream in particular that I'm working on, I've gone back and I've done a biblical study on eagles. And there's a lot of times the Bible says you will mount up with wings as eagles, or they will fly and soar like eagles. But then there's a parable of the 2 eagles and the vine. You can look it up. And it says there's an eagle that comes from a foreign land. And then it says Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. Like, it names the eagle. It's not like, it's not as, it's not anything. It's like a direct allegory. This eagle is this person, which is interesting because we've had dreams about an eagle and some high-level political figures. And this one was the Speaker of the House at the time and gets just plucked out of the speaker's chair and the podium by an eagle and then flies away. And I challenged my people to go back, and they said, well, this person's going to be removed. And it's like, well, duh. Yeah, I mean, obviously, but who's the eagle? And they're like, well, we don't know. And I'm like, well, go ask God. Like, you can get a word of knowledge on a symbol in a dream. God can tell you who. And I specifically felt who is the eagle. And again, I felt that before I had recently read that in the Bible, Nebuchadnezzar is identified as the first eagle. There's actually another king or a prince that's identified as the second eagle in the parable of the two eagles on the vine. But I think it's fascinating that you're seeing this eagle, and this one eagle in particular is like interacting with you. It's the one that you touch, right? It's the one closest.
Yeah, the other ones were just kind of like with him, but it seemed more like he was there for me, just to look over me, but not to do anything at that time. Maybe just let me know he was there.
Yeah. Well, this kind of reminds me too of the idea of Chastity's dream, like catching someone that's falling my thought is they're there to rescue your husband because he's stuck on this island in the middle of this floating acid, lava, unsafe, whatever this stuff is that nobody wants to drink.
Right.
And the eagles come, and obviously the best way to rescue somebody that's in that situation is with a helicopter or a large eagle that can pick you up and take you away. But I think it's interesting that the eagle comes to you and then you touch its feathers, and of course reminds of Psalm 91, under his feathers or under his pinions. It talks about being under the shelter of his wing, and I think it mentions feathers in particular. But what are your thoughts, Ash?
The thing that stood out for me, the first one was your message to Jim is be careful, that might sink. So the foundation that he stood upon, I'm just going to say it as I got it, is a bobbing along on the river of the beautiful Brian Sea, or whatever that thing goes. I got that, and the acid burns. So whether it's poisonous or you said the water, we're supposed to drink it water if it's clean. But this acid was something that you wouldn't drink. But acid burns, and if you drink it, it's poison. Right. So it could be I say this, it's maybe not the right word, but the landscape that he's traveling on, he's protected at the moment, but what he's bobbing along right now underneath him is not safe. Right. It's not safe. So it's very unstable there. But it's you that receives, and again, so many people saying this in regards to the eagle referring to a prophetic voice or the prophet. I believe it's along those lines. But the thing that stood out to me was that you go and touch the eagle that's closest to you, and you said it felt like microfiber. So the microfiber to me is the micro message. So that the deeper message, when you reach out and touch and dig in, when you touch the feathers, you go in deeper, you have a deeper touch. So this could be the message that is to come, because right then you said you didn't receive it, you didn't speak or didn't pick you up or anything. You just knew that they were there for your protection, or this eagle was there for your protection. So the message you've identified is there. Now you're going, when you reach out, just like with the man with the hand with Jesus, when you take instruction, when you reach out, you'll get the micro detail there that will give you more revelation of what you're to do in this hour. So the actionable intel of this stream. So I would say your actionable intel is to ask the question, I want to go deeper with you. Show me, what's the micro information here, the revelation here. Allow me or show me the feathers to pluck out to receive the message. So that's interesting.
Okay.
Well, and it may be that God's called your husband to be in a place that is dangerous. And it's a place that you can't necessarily go. You're there with them in that you can see and intercede. You're at the shoreline. But then the eagle comes to you first, like letting you know, hey, it's going to be okay. I feel like he's on assignment, whatever he's doing there. The dream doesn't tell us, but like he's on assignment. He's in that dangerous place, but it's not just danger like, oops, I've fallen into a volcano. It's danger for the sake of like draining the swamp or doing something. I wonder if it might have to do with his work or something like that. I feel like he could be in a place that could be toxic, could be dangerous, could be acidic. And the idea that God is letting you know, as you're the one praying and covering him, is that he is under his wings, just like you are under his wings. And I love what Nicole says, is the eagles will return. So he can be rescued and plucked out of there at any time, but he's there for a reason.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That sounds good. Yeah. We do seem to be kind of on the same path, but in a different, I don't know. It's hard to explain. We have just different ways of, our relationship with God. But we both are really, passionate about God and passionate about, our kids all coming to the Lord and doing what, God put us here to do. We're both very mission minded.
Yeah. That's so cool. What a good dream. I love this dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Thank
dream is
you.
help is on the way, or help
Yes.
is actually better.
Yeah.
So, thanks for coming on and sharing
Okay.
that with us, Brenda.
Thank
That's an
you.
amazing dream.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Brenda.
Bye-bye. All right, let's try Susie again real quick. Susie, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yay! We can hear you.
Yes. Hello. Thank you. I had this dream this morning. I woke up and this is what I had. This blonde young woman had a Dalmatian-looking dog that was larger and lankier than a greyhound, like a greyhound. The dog's coat was primarily white with some interspersed black spots. The young woman's father was president with a capital P. She was on the grounds of a compound where there was a body of water. From the place we were standing, there was water on both sides. I thought of Camp David, because I know in the White House there's not a body of water. The dog didn't like the water because it was too cold. It walked to a shallow edge and very briefly felt the tip and turned right around. Someone asked her how much she needed to borrow. She looked outward and had made up her mind that she needed $4,000 for the upkeep of this dog. That was the end.
Okay, so did you feel like this was a particular person?
After researching it a little bit, yes, but it's someone that died. I think President Biden's first daughter, whose name was Naomi, she died at just over a year old with her mom in that car accident that killed them December 18th, 1972.
Wow. Why do you think the president, it says the president, why do you think that's Biden?
I sensed it was a president. And I saw the word president with a capital P in my dream. So
again, why do you think that's Biden? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
It's a dream. It's a dream. We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, Trump has 2 blonde daughters.
Yeah.
I thought of Trump. I also thought of the Washington Mall when you said body of water. You said 2 bodies of water.
Well, there was we were standing on like a little edge, and then there was water on this side, on that side, and then there was a small shallow area on this side where the dog had walked into and decided it didn't like the water.
It kind of reminds me of like the Potomac River and then the Washington, the reflecting pool.
Oh, okay. I looked up Camp David, and I saw a picture of FDR and Winston Churchill sitting by the side of the water. They were fishing. So there was like a body of water there. I don't know. It just kind of resonated with me. I thought of Camp David.
Fishing at Camp David?
Yeah.
I need to go there.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Mar-a-Lago has water on 2 sides. That's interesting. Thought of Trump. A lot of us were thinking Trump. Yeah, wasn't thinking Biden, especially since his daughter died when she was 1.
Yeah.
That really, now obviously his dog has been in the news. Does Trump have a dog? Does anybody know? Put it in the comments. Does Trump have a dog, and what's his name? And I think Biden has a dog. And if I remember, I've read an article or two about it, like biting Secret Service or being a problem.
Yeah, that was
who knows Biden's dog's name. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. My fault. That was their first German Shepherd. They had to give it away because it was a biter, and they got a second German Shepherd. I want to say his name is Champ, but because I was looking this up, it's like
wasn't that Bush's dog's name was Champ, or was that Obama's? Like every president, it's like an unwritten rule. You're supposed to have a dog, but not a Great Dane. Nobody has a Great Dane in the White House.
Well, isn't that something?
But did you say it was a Dalmatian or a Great Dane?
No, it was a mix between a Dalmatian and a Greyhound because it was a big Dalmatian. Wow. It was a mix.
Dalmatian and Greyhound. So a Greyhound is a runner, is a racer.
It was a Dalmatian-looking dog because of the coat, but it was larger and lankier like a greyhound.
Wow. No dog for Trump. Article said he'd feel phony. Yeah. Trump's not a dog man. He's a kid man. Oh, FDR had a Great Dane named President. Whoa, that's cool.
Wow.
That's cool. So the idea of the capital P is that it was a proper noun. It was an actual name. God is talking about FDR's dog. This is sweet. I love this game.
Wait, it's the young woman's father was president.
The young woman's father. Well, he had a mess of kids. Everybody look up FDR. What was his blonde daughter's name? Somebody look that up for us. I love the fact that we have so many researchers that are just on their phones right now or on their laptop. They're just typing away. Trump doesn't have animals. Biden does. All right. I think Biden's major was Biden's and was removed for chewing on the Secret Service. Yeah. So it's a runner. Commander is his current dog. Obama had 2 Portuguese water dogs, Sonny and Bo. Yes. Sorry we didn't get you tonight, Sacred Terra, but yeah, I want to hear the stream about satellites. Dalmatian to Great Hound, fire dog running the race. Wow, that's interesting. It's like, why the wink to FDR? This is a mystery. Dalmatians are from Eastern Europe. Wow, interesting. Awesome on the FDR dog. Go Dawn. Awesome Dawn. Dawn is our hero. Dawn is our friend. We love Dawn.
FDR had a daughter named Anna.
Anna. Wow.
Huh.
What do we know about her? Is she alive? Can we call her? Can she join the call right now? Wow. Wowzers. I'm just catching up to your comments. You guys have been lighting them up. Franklin Jr. Yeah, it's legit. Anna Roosevelt. Yep, you guys are on it. Ash, our Great Danes from Denmark. Greyhounds are British. Anna Roosevelt. Slick Willie. Clinton had a cat. Socks.
Yeah, boy.
Dawn is spot on. Belonging to Franklin Jr. Okay, so it was Franklin Jr. It wasn't FDR himself. Well, I mean, it was at the White House, but it was. Okay, here we go. Here's a bit of history. Anna Eleanor Roosevelt was born in 1906. Yeah, she may not be able to join the call. No. James Roosevelt, Eleanor or Elliot, Franklin. Oh, Anna was Franklin's brother or sister. Okay, so FDR, who was president and died in 1945, what were his kids' names? Because the Anna we're talking about here looks like FDR's sister. So that's interesting. Maybe a lot of times.
Anna Eleanor Roosevelt, the oldest child and only daughter of Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt, was born May 3rd, 1906. She died in 1975.
Wow. I guess he was old when he was in office. Yeah, he was born in the 1800s then. That's amazing. Anna. Did Anna have any kids?
He had one child.
Ooh, Chastity. Look at the photo of FDR as a child. He looks like a blonde young girl. Whoa. Are you sure it was a girl?
I'm sure.
It didn't look like a girl. Did you have a knowingness it was a girl, or did it look like a girl?
No, I knew it was a young woman.
How old?
I would say 20s.
Oh, Anna was a long-haired blonde, but born in 1906. Lived 71 years. The Great Dane coming through crossing a Mastiff with a Greyhound. They crossed a Mastiff with a Greyhound, and that's what made a Great Dane? Wow, I never knew that. That's crazy.
Wow.
Okay, Ash, what do you got? Winston Churchill's
I was
Friends
going
of
to say
FDR.
this is a throwback to one of our conversations we had when we were together, smoking on Churchill's. Funny enough,
Yes.
we again. This is. I just have to say this. I was going to say this earlier, but this is what you experience. And John hasn't buttered me up or asked me to say anything. He doesn't know I'm going to say this, but this is partly what you experience when you go into sim, when you do the dreams through the Bible course. When you experience this, it changes your perspective on everything, especially when you go and read the Bible, because you get new revelation from it as well. So this is your thing. If this what gets you excited and motivated and just ticks all the boxes for you, then I really do encourage you guys to come and join. At least sim, get involved with that. But this is amazing. The revelation, the details again. With you as well, location wise, I was thinking of the pool, but it's funny that you were saying that you were really kind of emphasizing the difference between the left hand side of the body of water, or the water you were seeing, and then the right hand side. And I was seeing this as a political split, but it's one of the same thing. So that's the first thing. The black spot come to me as well. You mentioned that. As soon as you said that, I was like, I saw like a black ink spot like come down on a piece of paper. I'm not sure what that is about yet, and I had no idea about the blonde woman Anna. There's a lot. There's a lot more to go into this. So much more. But I'd say the thing that stood out to me is the dog comms in this. And
Is the dog
I think the dog comms in this.
Yes.
Like, we keep hearing the terms that these people that use social media that are in government keep using these dog comms. You're receiving dog comms in your dream, and it's pointing. This bit here is like the dog did not like the water; it was too cold. It got walked to one bed and it went, "No, I'm not doing this." But it feels like it's controlled. Yeah, it feels like it's controlled and led there, but it's being pulled back. It wants to come back, but it's being led there. I got a mixture of things, but as soon as she said FDR, it just threw it up in the air. And I'm just being honest with you guys. I don't have anything else.
That's wisdom. I love that. And that's another thing you'll find that's different in a lot of the people that we hang with and that run with us. There's no pressure to perform. We don't have to make up a prophetic word. No. If we don't have something, we'll be like, you know what? I don't got it. This 5 giant stream that you've heard me talking about, we've been working on for 8 months. I don't know what it all means, and we're briefing some pretty interesting people about some of the stuff that's happening. And, we want answers. We want to know. And sometimes we don't know. And one of the things, get used to saying this in the new world of spiritual intelligence. Get used to saying, I'm okay with being wrong. Because there are people that have challenged me on some interpretations, and I've had to go back and be like, okay, I know I felt that, but why did I feel that? And then come up with a list of, okay, here's 10 things in the dream that point in this direction or point to this time frame. And then we can go back and we can brief a leader or a decision maker and say, this is why we believe this is the time frame, or this is what it's talking about. It's not this, it's this. And that makes us so much more sharper. In fact, that kind of input is invaluable. I love people that have challenged me aggressively on interpretations, especially when it's about their life and they're the one that have a stake in it. And they're like, no, I'm not feeling that. Well, okay. And I don't want them to say, oh, well, you're the dream interpreter, so I guess no. If you're not feeling it, tell me. And when people say that, then it's like, okay, God, they're not feeling it. What do I not know? Is there something wrong here? Do we need to go back? Do we need to get more information? I feel like this dog sniff things out, get to the bottom of things. I feel like this is one of those dreams. It's a short dream. It's a seemingly simple dream, but there's a lot at stake. There's president with a capital P. There's the FDR thing. There's Anna. How many kids did Anna have? There's some research that need to be in. Yeah, FDR died in 45. That's interesting. FDR was a wartime president. FDR was president for 12 years. Like, well, God, what are you saying? Like, well, how does this apply? Because initially the debate was, is this Biden or Trump? But Biden's daughter lived for a year and then passed away. Trump's got 2 blonde daughters. So it's like, you know, where do you go with this? And so the FDR, the name of the dog being president, I feel like unlocked the key that there's something here on the FDR side that we need to learn. And so, yeah, we have to go back and we're probably going to have to do some research. This is going to be a to be continued TBC on this dream. I don't know that we get the actionable intelligence on this. It's a national level dream. It's about presidential things. It's about politics. It may relate to Trump. It may relate to Biden. It may relate to both. Yeah. So I think Sacred Terra has mentioned this a couple of times, and I think it's really important because he's come back with this 3 or 4 times. A long time ago, mothers dressed their sons up as girls because young men were in high demand during the Great Depression. My uncle was wearing girl clothes. And I know you said, well, let me ask you again, are you 100% sure it was a girl?
Yeah, because I heard the young woman's father.
And what did he say?
The young woman's father was president. I heard it in my dream. She was on the grounds.
Oh, so you heard the young woman's father is president. So it's like an angel or a voice telling you it was a young woman.
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty compelling.
Yeah. Why did she want to borrow money though? Someone asked her how much she needed to borrow. She looked outward. She was like looking straight out and had made up her mind that she needed $4,000 for the upkeep of this dog.
You know, somebody just had a dream. They just posted it in the Dream Lab. They had a dream about dogs and Trump. And then because of the Supreme Court ruling, Trump posted a tweet that he said, now Biden can call off his dogs. And so I feel like all of this is part of the conversation. And so,
okay.
And it's 2:22:22 of our broadcast right now. So this stream is, I think it's very important. I think we're going to have to go back. I think it's because we've mentioned all these presidents. I definitely think it has to do with Biden and Trump. I think it probably has to do with this election. I think it has to do with God tipping his hand, something about the dogs or the calling off the dogs. It has to do with FDR. It has to do with wartime. It has to do with 3 terms, 12 years served. The 4,000 is a key. Diana also mentioned the number 4,000 in the Brown Eagles. Okay, we got to go back and watch Diana's thing.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Ash, that Diana mentioned 4,000 in her Eagles thing?
Didn't. I've missed today's 2 words if she's done both of them. So I haven't got around to seeing those. So this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. I was picking up with the 4,000. There's 4 years in a term.
Yeah. So 3 terms.
So,
yeah,
that's
4 years in a term.
Yeah, 4 years in a term. So to me, that's standing out to me at the moment.
There's only 4,000 in the world. 4,000 what? There's only 4,000 what? Let me go back up to what Levon said before this. Where is it? I don't see it. What do you mean by that, Levon? There's only 4,000 in the world. FDR came in right after the Great Depression. Eagles. There's only 4,000 eagles. Whoa, 4,000 eagles. Does this connect to the last stream? Brown eagles. There's only 4,000. That's the Diana connection. There's only 4,000 brown eagles in the world. Oh my goodness. Thank you for bringing that piece, Mary and Linda and Levon. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I didn't blow off that comment because I'm like, what the heck is she talking about?
It's a triple threat right there.
The triple threat. Yes, the Levon, the Linda, and the Mary. Like, thank you, ladies. You guys are on it. And Susan, like, man, there's so many. Dawn. Diana saw a specific. Wow, this is so interesting. Guys, this, again, I can't tell you how many hundreds of hours on Zoom calls we do this stuff. And it's so cool because when something pops, we're like, oh my gosh, write that down and look this up. And a lot of times we'll sit on Zoom calls and it's quiet because everybody's looking up a different piece of what we just discovered. We'll be pulling up the transcript of what Diana said, and somebody will be looking up how many brown eagles are in the world, and other people are still on the FDR train, and somebody's looking up a picture of the dog president. And I'm telling you. And then it all comes together when we come together as this group and we analyze, and it's the stellar eagle. The stellar eagle. What does that mean? It's funny. You ladies are going at it. I feel like I'm listening in on a conversation and I'm missing key pieces. There's only 4,000. 4,000 what? It's the stellar eagle. I'm like, we should just turn it over and let you guys go. Like, I just want to sit back and watch. Like, this is.
FDR did serve 4 terms, right?
I thought it was 3.
Was it 3?
I think it was 3. 12 years.
Okay.
Yes, this is a taste of Sim, Susan, 100%. It might be stellar. Who's stellar? Somebody mentioned.
I don't know. I'm going to put this dream in the bottom in live dreams. I'm going to put it in the chat because when I got this, I just was like looking cross-eyed. What is all this?
Post it in the chat after. Well, post it in the chat now, but also post it in the chat after the video post, like when we're done.
Yeah.
So then people can see it. They won't have to watch the whole video it's spelled stellar, the eagle.
Huh.
Oh, the type of eagle. A brown eagle is called a stellar eagle. Okay. It's also a sea eagle, a stellar sea eagle. Are eagles on some coins? Yeah, eagles are on coins. They're on the seal of the Senate. They're on the seal of the Supreme Court. They're on the seal of the president. Yes, we've been studying eagles, but this is a whole nother level. This is adding to what we're already doing. On the presidential seal, they have 13 arrows in one hand and in one talon and 13 palm branches in another. It's interesting because in a dream that we're looking at, the talons are broken off. So is that the ability to make war and or peace? So what does that mean? FDR served 4 terms. You're right, Susie.
4. Yeah.
4,000. FDR served 82 days in his 4th term. Oh, so he served 3 full terms, but he was in his 4th term. Thank you for that, Chris. Let me highlight that. Thank you for that. That's huge. Wow. That's a piece right there. Thank you, Chris. Stellar, excellent in nature, comes from star, cosmos. Submit it so we have it in the database. It lives in Russia, Korea, Japan, China, and Taiwan. The brown eagle. Russia, Korea, Japan, China, and Taiwan. What, Ash? What are you thinking?
Well, isn't that the eagle that Diana is apparently received in her word today?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. There's only 4,000 in the world. It's called the Stellar Eagle. The HMS Eagle was sunk in 1942. Wow. 4,000 as in 4. 4 digits, and the only number is 4.
Yes.
All of these brown eagles visited 3 U.S. states in a recent year. Can't remember the story. All right, we all got to go watch Diana's piece now. It's homework. Wait, Operation Pedestal. What is Operation Pedestal? Oh, Carissa, when she did Sim, she lived in Eagle Place. That's fun. This is what Diana said, and now we're talking about it here. Yes, amazing. Sea eagle reference to watching the water. The water, especially from all these overseas places where the brown eagle comes from. Yes, interesting which countries. Russia, China, North Korea, Japan, and Taiwan, I think it was. One of these eagles came to the U.S. recently. Yes.
Hang on a second. So you were talking about, again, the pools of water to the left and to the right-hand side, with the dog reference being controlled. And all these countries seem to be coming across to the Far East, that side of the world, and they're trying to control each side of the pool of water like a dog. Okay, this is more, and I think it goes much further back than what we just see in today's current political climate. Like FDR going that far back. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, this is cool. It visited the U.S. in 2020. What do you see in 2020? I see 4,000. 2 plus 2. Wow. Satellite called Stellar. This is going to bring us into the satellite dream. We're going to have to hear that one soon. You know, at some point, we should just bring on a dream that we have from our like this dream and just spend the entire time instead of trying to do like the quick and dirty 5-minute thing. We should just get our whole community together and just be like, okay, guys, get your fingers ready to do some research. Let's light it up. Let's interpret one dream tonight. We really ought to do that. We're going to have to do that. Yes, FDR died in his 4th term.
Yeah.
Wow. Eagles are known for their vision. So much good input. You guys are phenomenal. You guys are just rocking it. It's so fun doing this. It's so much fun. By the way, like and share. I hate having to tell people to do that, but I just want to remind you, if this speaks to you, smash the like and the share button, because the more people that we get involved in what we're doing, the more influence we'll be able to have in the world that's coming. We need people trained at a governmental level. I didn't start out to teach dreams. I owned a finance company and a strategy consultancy and was doing really well. And now I teach dreams full time. Like, I was the CEO of a finance firm, but hey, this is what God called me to do. And so I'm going to do this, but I'm just telling you, we need to spread the word. Yes. Been asking that. Can Sim do dream meetups where we just collab on our own dreams for a couple to few hours? Yes, we need to do that. We need to do that. Yes, they all need to join Sim. I agree, Christy. Good idea. There's so many people. I wish I could call you all out by name, but everybody that's like been in the comments, guys, we need all of you in Sim. Like, you're personally invited. I've extended registration. It's open until Thursday night, maybe Friday afternoon. You got to get at least registered so we can send you the link so you can be at the orientation Friday. But I'm telling you, if this stuff fires you up, if you're like me, like, I'm excited. I'm not sitting on the edge of my chair. Like, we're 2.5 hours in and I'm like, can we go another 3? Can I order a pizza or something? Like, I'm hungry, but like, I love this stuff. This is amazing. Wow. Oh, hey, the great-granddaughter is Anna, served as president of a civic association, is currently active in a local watchdog group, the Coalition for Bethesda Area Residents. This is the great-granddaughter of FDR. She's in a watchdog group. That's crazy.
Wow.
All right, Brenda's going to join us in September. Welcome. We can't wait. Yes, Carissa, hang out more with us.
Yes.
That's right. This is awesome. So much for 1 hour. Yeah, I know, right? Well, we'll just do an hour tonight, and we still got people that are waiting. We still got more people that we could probably be on for another hour. Well, do you got time, Susie?
Yeah. Yes.
Ash, you still good?
I'm still good. Let me go and get my charger.
Okay, go and get your charger. I'm going to keep Susie on because Susie is a graduate of Sim and AIM. And I'm going to bring in somebody else that we can share another dream and keep going. Laurel.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I am fine. How are y'all tonight?
Good. Good.
It's been so powerful.
This is so fun.
It is. It has been awesome. And it's so funny because one of the dreams that I had sent in that Ash sent me back interpretation, but he said it still needs to go to John. It's all about a supersized eagle, some other things. But there's a different dream that the Lord's really been impressing on me, that I had it in 2022, August of 2022. And so do you want me to wait till Ash gets back and then I'll just get right into it, or you want me to go ahead and start?
Go ahead and start.
Okay, I'm actually going to pull it up real quick. I've got it pulled up. I don't want to miss anything. Okay, I had it on 8/20/22, and it's just, in fact, lately it's like it seems like it's weightier now than what it was before. And I entitled it Antarctica, Submarines, and Wind Talkers. And the dream opens when it unfolded. I was in Antarctica and I was watching a young male, approximately in his 20s, and he had like a janitor's push broom, and he was dipping it in some type of chemical and brushing the tops of these 6-foot long individual submarines that were coming through this channel, single file. And I knew in the dream that there was 45 submarines, and each submarine was 6 foot long. I knew that they were going to an underground docking station, and as they came by and he would dip them, then I heard a voice say, if he doesn't do that, they will freeze instantly. Then this young man that was brushing the tops of the submarines, he looked at me and he said, I've got to work 2 100-hour nights this weekend, and then one other night during the week. I just remember thinking that when he gets home, he's going to be exhausted. The fact that he had said he was working 100-hour nights did not seem strange to me at all. So I continued to walk off, and then suddenly I realized that there was a man walking next to me. He was a Native American man, and I wanted to tell him about my granny, my dad's mom. She was full-blood Cherokee. And with fear and trepidation, and I don't know why I felt nervous about telling him this, but I shared with him about my granny. And he just looked at me. He didn't seem very warm and fuzzy. And he looked up and he said, she was full blood, or so they say. And then I look up, didn't say anything else to him. And I noticed that we were walking toward this massive courthouse. And then I realized we were back in like the mainland, the States. And this courthouse looked like it was plucked up out of Rome, had these massive white columns. But what I noticed was that this huge courthouse was sitting cockeyed on its foundation. It was not sitting proper on its foundation. And then this man looks at me and he said, the man that was brushing the tops of the submarines, what he is doing is more important than what the wind talkers did in the war. No one could crack their code, and this is even more important. Then as I entered the courthouse, I looked to my right where the man had been, but he was gone. But then on my left, there was another Native American man. But this man had long, thick black hair, and he was much more kind, and was very warm. And he began to tell me why I was there, why I saw what I saw in Antarctica, and why we were going to this big courthouse that had the large columns. I don't remember any of what he told me, though, of why I was there, but I just felt honored to just be a part of it. And then suddenly the scene of the dream changed, and I was with some women from a prayer group that I'm in, intercessors, and we were like convoys, like 3 or 4 cars traveling together. We were headed home from someplace. But what I noticed, I live in Texas. I live in Rockwall, Texas, near Dallas. But in my dream, the scenery, the landscape looked like something out of the Netherlands or Switzerland. It was beautiful. The colors were just vibrant. There was rolling hills. There was snow-covered mountains in the background. It was breathtaking. I saw waterfalls. I mean, just unimaginable scenery. But then suddenly I saw storm clouds gathering, and I began to see a tornado forming over this beautiful scenery. And I just remember thinking, that's about right. And then right toward the end of the dream, I look up and we hit a blue jay or a bluebird. It hit the windshield, and then I woke up.
Well, this is another 3-hour dream at least.
I know. And I don't know why this seems so intense to me, or just, like I have some dreams and they'll kind of linger for a while, but then the intensity or the heaviness of them leaves. But this one, it's like it leaves, but then it comes back. But recently, it's just kind of stayed, like it's sitting on me.
Yeah. Here's a Antarctica submarines, 45, 6 foot long, 2 100-hour nights. Wow, dark days ahead. Justice in courthouses, changes in environment, hit Texas. Texas state bird is the blue jay.
I didn't even think of that.
Oh, wow.
I did not even think of that.
Crazy.
Wow.
I heard Mockingjay, which
Yeah.
reminded me of Hunger Games.
Yes.
The Mockingjay.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, 4,000 banks were forced out of business during FDR's 4th term. Oh. Wind Talker stealth code making subs stealth. Yes. I was a nuke in the Navy, and so I worked on subs. But I wasn't attached to a sub. But I was like, what are they putting on this? And it reminds me of their stealth technology, which is radar absorbing material. And they have that they put on submarines, so it's hard to detect them through radar or even sonar. And so the idea of equating what he was painting with the broom on these submarines as being more important than what the Wind Talkers did is a level of deep level covert, which I think is fascinating.
Right.
The mockingbird is Texas's state bird.
It is.
Wow, that's crazy. Parallel times. A blue jay landed in front of me when I started watching this live.
Wow.
Yeah, the hidden things, and yes, deep underground military base. Yeah, we're tracking, Mary. You're with us.
Yeah.
We're not saying a lot, but we're hearing you. We are hearing you.
Yeah.
USS Bluebird, ASR-19 submarine rescue ship in World War II. Wow. Texas.
Oh, wow.
By the way, when you said the tornado formed, I heard Reap the Whirlwind.
Come on. Yeah.
From that movie Young Guns 2, where Billy the Kid, they find the crooked sheriff at the very end. They find the crooked sheriff, and his name is Sheriff Brady. And they pull out the gun, and he's like falling down, or they've knocked him down, and they said, reap. And they know this guy is corrupt as the day is long. And he goes, reap the whirlwind, Sheriff Brady. Boom. And he shoots him right between the eyes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the courthouse, I immediately heard justice is misaligned. You were saying that the courthouse was off kilter.
Yes.
And that's what I heard at that point.
Yes.
Wow.
I had mentioned this, to be honest, I've not shared this with a whole lot of people. I just due to some of the nature of it, I just felt that it was kind of keep it contained and covered for a while. But I really felt like that about 1.5 years ago, the Lord spoke to me and said that when I connected with the right people, then it was to release it. And so I knew the first night I watched y'all that this was it. And somebody had just recently, there's only like 2 or 3 other people I've shared it with, but one of them had mentioned there's something about our government was taking part of the rules, or regulations were taken from Rome. I don't know anything about that. Do y'all happen to know what you're referring to?
Rome has a very significant part, particularly on the court and legal side in the Five Giants Dream.
Okay.
And so we've been doing a deep dive into Rome, what Rome means in the modern world, the Prince of Rome. Like, yes. I just love that God has given you guys themes like eagles and Rome that are paying on things that we've been studying literally for several 100 hours. 100-hour nights. We've done more than 2 100-hour nights when it comes to the Five Giants Dream. We've had hundreds of hours, and especially man hours. I mean, we have a group of 5 or 6 of us that get together still, and even though we had teams and teams of people, but when you add up, you get 5 people on a call for 5 hours. That's 25 hours of time you're spending.
Right.
But we have hundreds of hours into this stuff. Remember the dream of DJT offshore of Alaska? Oh wow. Yeah. They took their system from Greece. Yes, Greece is in the dream too. The reason why I keep referring back to the Five Giants Dream is because I feel like in a lot of times and a lot of seasons, God would tell a very faithful prophetic intercessor, and we love intercessors and we honor intercessors, and sometimes God calls people to pray. You know, I ping on, by the way, the term just pray. There's no dream in the Bible that says just pray. And you guys have heard me kind of rant on the just pray thing. And I'm ranting on it particularly as it relates to leaders. If leaders are telling the whole body of Christ, the only thing the body of Christ needs to do is just pray, that's wrong. Mm-hmm. Now, there are people that their main calling is to pray because they're intercessors, but they don't just pray. They pray and they declare and they war and they travail. And so again, even that is not just praying. And when I say just pray, it's like, well, God bless America. We thank you for that. Like, dude, come on. Like, God is revealing roots of altars that have allowed principalities to be tied to the land so they can be torn down. And so principalities that are thousands of years old can be ejected from our nation, because that's the battle we're fighting now. In this Five Giants Dream, I describe it as the map on the table in the war room. And so there's other dreams that are coming in with, there's an eagle piece here and there's this and there's a piece of Rome and all of that. But to me, it all relates back to this. In fact, probably almost everything or every major thing that I've done in the last 5 years related to dreams ties into this. There's literally hundreds of dreams that we have that are pieces. Like there's a dragon in the dream. We probably have 12 dreams on dragons. And so, you know what we do? We pull up every single dream we have on dragons and we study it to say, is there a piece that shows us an identity? Is it an organization, a legal entity? Is it a person? Where is it located? There's 4 dreams on dragons in New York. Is this the United Nations? Is this Wall Street? What does this have to do to, what does it represent? You know, we don't just say, oh, a dragon is China. You know, the Chinese don't own the dragon at all. But we're able to talk to people that are experts on China or that are experts on some of these various things. And we need that dream. Dutch Sheets is in the Five Giants Dream. He's actually the leader of the company of warriors in the Five Giants Dream, Carissa. So send that in, dreamlifedecoded@gmail. Yes, ancient Rome's imperial eagle was always looking to the sinister, meaning to the left. Mm-hmm. I need to highlight this. Such good input. Like you guys you don't even know. You're helping me. You're helping me with other dreams that we're not even talking about tonight. But that's, you know, I felt like when I came on tonight that it was going to be a different kind of a night. And I had a friend, a dear friend, that's told me, you know, just some things, change some things in how you deal with people and some of the stuff. And so we started implementing some of those tonight, just some subtle changes, you know, letting you all know how much we appreciate you and how much we love you and how much how important and vulnerable it is to come on and share your dream when you have no idea what it means. And we look at like Chastity and Joanne and so many others that shared dreams tonight, and even you, Laurel. But this is like we've hit another gear. Instead of just coming on and doing a whole bunch of personal dreams, I feel like we're actually decoding things that are important for the nation live while we're talking here. The Vatican, more specifically, when you're talking about Rome, yes, the Vatican itself has come up in this Five Giants dream, particularly related to Rome. So yeah, I mean, you guys are hitting pieces of stuff that you don't even know, because there's a gathering with Dutch chiefs and church leaders with flashpoint this much. Where is that, Mary? Where is that at? Strategic. Yeah, this is a different level. Wow.
This is incredible.
Yeah, that's Fort Worth area.
Oh, wow. That's close.
That's close to you.
Yes.
Well, wonder if I used to live in Princeton.
Oh, really? Just went through there the other day. Yeah, it's not far from here.
Yeah. It's America's birthday party. Have you read the Britfield books, John? They're not. No, I haven't. Yes, Texas like in the dream, where the whirlwind forms. Thank you for bringing us back, Feather.
Wow.
Yes, exactly. And the court. People mentioned, you mentioned columns, and people. Yeah. What was Frankie said? The Supreme Court. I just drove by the Supreme Court. Actually, I have a picture. People are like, "Are they putting up fences around the Supreme Court?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just drove by there and took a picture." And I'm like, "No, not a picture I have. They weren't." So as of a week and a half ago, they weren't putting up fences around the Supreme Court like everybody was saying they were, or some people were saying. So yeah, Texas. So maybe it's at this gathering, Flashpoint, because Gene Bailey's in the dream too, and so was Lance Wallnau. So a lot of the guys that are part of Flashpoint are in this dream. Yeah, so I think Rome is beautiful. It's the center of Italy. Wow, that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, there's so much here. Again, this is a piece. We're gonna have to go through and like harvest these dreams from this call tonight and just like put them all. It really helps us, guys, if you can send these dreams into us. Send them to, actually, if you go on dreamlifedakota.com and there's submit a dream, and then you can submit where you were when you had the dream, the time, the date, the location, what your name is, and any extraneous stuff. If you're like, well, I need to tell you that the morning I woke up, I saw a blue jay, that's important, or whatever. So if you do that, those dreams go straight into our encrypted server. If you email them to us, then I have to have one of my staff members go back and they have to reformulate them and put them somewhere. But if you go to, that's why we say go to Dreamlife. People are like, well, we don't feel like it's direct. I know you want to email me directly, and you can certainly copy it in an email as well. But go to dreamlifedakota.com, submit a dream, because it goes straight into our server. And then every week, my head of intel pulls all those up. We put them on a spreadsheet, and then we read them. And then her and I have a meeting where we go through, and it's like, hey, I think this one's related to the Five Giants dream. Hey, you need to take a look at this one. And we actually prioritize them on a 1 to 5 scale. And particularly anything of giants, eagles, Rome, whirlwinds, things like that, usually are a 1. And then not only do I see it, she sees it, my head of intel, and our staff sees it, and we begin to go through and look at it and apply it to what is happening. So I'm looking at, we got to,
John,
yeah.
When I had sent that dream in, I had tried to attach the other one to it, the one that I mentioned with it was just a supernatural size eagle. And when I don't remember, I think I hit return. And instead of going to the next line, it just sent the other dream. So I tried to send it, but I don't think it connected them. And that's what I was trying to tell. I think it was Sophia, that I was trying to connect the two, because I feel like they're connected, even though one was January of this year, but the other one I just gave was 2022. But it was about Trump and a supernatural large eagle that I could see the oil on its feathers. That Trump's face and the eagle's face morphed together. And then there was a
Trump's
separation.
face and the eagle's face morphed together. What was that in?
The other dream that I had this year, January of this year.
Do we have that dream? We need that dream.
Yes, I sent it in the other day, but I was trying to connect the two because I feel like they're connected.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able to do it. But yeah, there was the water. Somebody mentioned the water, because I was floating in the ocean when that dream opened. And then I saw the eagle, huge eagle coming, white feathers, black, and I could see the oil underneath its on its feathers, and it had these piercing eyes. And then all of a sudden, its face and Trump's morphed, and then there was a whale that was a submarine. A lot of intel under there.
Yeah.
Rooms.
Shelly says we have it. Awesome.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
So
maybe you can connect them.
Yeah. So now we can go back and connect them. Wow, that's amazing. Type it in the dream. Yeah, at the end, you can put it in the notes. I believe this connects to my other dream.
Okay.
And then we can go look it up. That's why we asked for your name, and because then we can look up, Laurel, and then we can see every dream that you've sent in, and then we can say, okay, well, if God is speaking to her about eagles and submarines over here, and she has another submarine dream, okay, we'll go back and look at the first thing she sent us. Guys, we're serious about this as intel. Yeah. Like, we're not doing it because we want to collect data from you. We're doing it because we want to be able to connect the dots that God is giving. And if God will speak to you about something and he speaks to you about the same thing again, we go back to the source. God is the source of dreams, but if he's speaking to you about this may be part of the continuation of an ongoing discussion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always think, when I think of my dreams, I had to come to a new mindset about it. If it's important enough to God to communicate that to me, it's important enough to me to write it down and to seek the interpretation, because that's why the Father's talking to us. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing those dreams.
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. This is amazing. We love it. This is awesome. We just really appreciate you and honor everybody that shared dreams tonight. It's been great.
Yes, and I will be in the program in September. So.
All right. We can't wait to see you, Laurel.
I look forward to it. Thank y'all so much.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you. Thank you so
much.
All
right. Bye-bye. Let's do one more. I know we got a couple of people waiting, but Tanya is from overseas and she doesn't always get, she's been on for 3 hours, I think, waiting to be heard. And I don't know what time is it where you are?
Hello, can you hear me?
There you are. Yes.
Yes, it's let's see, it's 2:03 a.m.
Oh. Thank you so much for waiting and for being on. I really wanted to get to you.
It's only.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, if we didn't get to you this week, we'll get to you next time. So Selena, sorry about that. We didn't get to you yet. Brenda, yeah, we talked to you, Brenda, already, right? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I know you've been waiting, and I know it's the middle of the night, so.
Hi, John. So it's only a short dream, so it won't take long. It's the 28th of April, 2021. I was observing Rodney Howard-Browne. I don't know whether I was travelling with him. I was observing his relationship with his daughter. When Rodney Howard-Browne did something, his daughter would do it. It was like a competitive thing. He would do something and she would do something and she would do it better. And it was crazy. And Ronnie Howard, RHB, as I put it here, was really funny. And every time he did something, she would do it better. And it was amazing how Rodney never felt in any way outdone by or envious of his daughter doing things better than he could. He just marvelled at the fact she could. He enjoyed her and she enjoyed him. And there was one point where I was in my lounge and I was just trying something. I was doing this strange thing where I was lying on top of his bookcase. Rodney tested his daughter in this. She did it, then I did it. I think she did it better. I thought, oh no, but it was all right. And I thought in this dream how nice RHB was, how loving he was. I was thinking about tithing to his ministry regularly, but in this dream it was all about his daughter. I think at one point I was in a car, an event was on in the evening. We were going down to that event, I think. I don't know who was with me. That's the end of the dream.
Wow. I've had the privilege of meeting Rodney Howard-Browne and actually talking dreams with him. One of probably the first Reawaken America tour that I went to was at his church in Tampa. And we had dreams of a live shooter event. These are the things you can't share then, but since it was 2 years ago, I'm going to share it now. We had dreams that there was going to be a live shooter event at the Reawaken America thing. And I had a friend that's one of the security people there. And there was definitely some weird stuff that happened with security. But a dear friend of mine, Anna, who helped us get started way back in the beginning, lived there at the time and was going to that church. And so we all got invited to go to Sunday after church. Sometimes they have a meal that's like a 5-star thing where he has his chef come in and he'll invite certain people. And I got invited to this dinner and he came over and he was telling our table about what happened with somebody that had weapons and they found out who it was and they isolated them and they did this and that. And there was this big security event. And I looked at him and I said, yeah, we had dreams that was going to happen. And he was like, what? And so he actually sidebarred me. We went over to an empty table, him and I by ourselves. And we talked and I had read 2 or 3 of his books by then, just because I knew I might meet him. And again, that's part of being an intel. If you're going to meet somebody, read their book. You know, I've met Flynn. I've read his book. I've read his white paper. If you're going to meet people, it's good to know what their basis is and where they're coming from. And so we had a great discussion because I could talk very educatedly about what he already knew about politics in his books and what we were able to talk about there. But he was just very, very genuine. If you know his story, he had a child, or was it a daughter that passed away?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know.
He had a daughter that died. And when his daughter died, he made a promise to God, like as a way to be like, okay, devil, you want me to be hopeless and you want to hurt me. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to promise, I think, before God that I'm going to bring 100 million souls to the kingdom. And so he built a massive church and he has a massive evangelistic outreach. And one of the things actually that I remember from this lunch that we had with him, because he had all of his interns and all of his students and stuff, not all of them, but several of them that were serving, and everybody knew their number. And he asked the lady that was clearing the plates, hey, come over here. How many people have you led to the Lord? 54, sir. Okay, cool. The cook comes over. How many people have you led to the Lord? 112, sir. And it was just like everybody kept track because he was very serious about reaching that number of 100 million. And I think he was, when I was there, and this was several years ago, I think he was like 50 or 60 million already that they have documented decisions for Jesus. Was just incredible. Yes, his daughter's name was Kelly. And when she passed away, it devastated the family. But instead of staying in a place of mourning and hopelessness, he made that promise and he went for it. So I think it's interesting that the idea of his daughter mimicking because I think he has another daughter too.
Yeah, he does. And I didn't know when I had the dream that he had another daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. So he has other kids, and not only is it his kids, I think he has a very dear relationship with his children. I believe I don't know if all of them, I don't know how many he has, but I know at least, I think the daughter in particular works in the ministry with him. I could be wrong on that. I think I'm not. I think I'm right. But it's the whole idea of imparting to the next generation. But particularly for the RHB, the Rodney Howard Brown story, as he's often referred to, is of his daughter passing and then him deciding, I'm going to bring 100 million people with me before I die. I think that's just phenomenal. And that's the whole idea of the relationship and the love that he had for his little girl, but also the idea of she passed into eternity and he wants to replicate that as much as possible, like times 100 million. And so I even think that the idea that he would do something and then she would do it better, I think it speaks to probably his current situation. I do believe he has a daughter that is still alive. I'm pretty sure about that.
Oh, yeah.
The idea of replication and teaching the next generation to do what he did and do it better, and then celebrate them as they do it. But also the idea that he was able to bring so many more people to the kingdom because his daughter passed away and because he got the fire in his belly and said, I'm gonna do this for God and spit in the face of the enemy because you took my daughter from me. I wonder if that hadn't happened and his daughter was still with him, which no parent wants to bury a child. No. But if he would have made that promise to God and if he would be so emboldened and as passionate about evangelism as he is.
If I could add one thing.
Please.
John 5, because when you were sharing your dream, it made me think about how the Father wants us to just mimic him, imitate him. And Jesus even said in John 5, for the Father dearly loves the Son and shows him everything that he himself is doing. And the Father will show him greater works than these so that you will be filled with wonder. And Jesus even said, greater works will you do because I go to my Father. So to me, that was like a whole picture of the Father and the Son. And that's who we are. We're children of God as well. So thank you for that dream. That was awesome.
It's the thing is, that's what I saw from it as well. That he delights. I think Rodney Howard Brown represents a father, and I was watching the father in relationship to his children.
Yes.
And for me, it was like he showed me, like, I delight when my children do what I do.
Yes.
Even if you mess up, even if it's not quite right, I enjoy it. But like Rodney Howard Brown enjoys his children the same way. And God was showing me how much he loves his children. That's one of the reasons I shared this dream, because I thought it would minister to other people. The fact that he loves us mimicking him and copying him, and because he delights in it. And even if we mess up, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's so good.
That is
You're right on with that.
And it says, I only do what I see my father doing. And that's a scripture. I kept seeing that scripture a lot at the time. And so God gave me that dream, I think, to remind me of that as well.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
You absolutely nailed it. Tanya, is that how you say your name?
Yeah.
Tanya, you nailed it. Wow. That's awesome.
And I wanted to share that I would hope that helps minister to others, because I understood the dream. Well, some of it I don't. There's little bits, but the most of it, I think the whole panorama of it is about the body, and God wants us to. He delights in us very much and enjoys us. I know the dream was so joyful. It was an amazing dream at the time. It was such an amazing atmosphere in the dream. And there's no competitiveness. God isn't, he's not envious or competitive at all, and I like that. In actual fact, he enjoys it when we do it better than he does.
He does. 100%.
Absolutely. Very cool.
I think you got a calling for spiritual intelligence.
I've already, I've done sim. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you in AIM? Or are you going to go into AIM?
No, although I had the invite, it's just difficult being in the UK, and if it's 3 or 4 times a week, it's a lot time wise and work wise as well when you've got other things to do, and you know, I'd love to do it, but it's just the time and the cost and everything else. It's the way it's structured for me. It doesn't work. So,
well, if there's anything we can do to facilitate it for you, send me an email and let me know. I understand the difference in time is just like, you know, even Ash. I mean, you got to stay up super late at night and to attend the briefings and all that stuff, and it just doesn't always work for everybody. But if there's anything that is something that we can solve, please let me know.
Yeah, it's just I mean, the time is just, it's so late, and it's, I was like, I'd love to be, see, I want to, you see, there's obviously the options sometimes of doing things online. You don't have to see the live things, but I love working with other people to do dreams. And I enjoyed, that's something I really enjoyed. I got so much buzz out of working with a team and looking at a dream and what's this mean and what are we all getting from this. I got such a buzz out of doing that.
Yeah. Well, you know, somebody's asked me recently, why don't we put together a program specifically for people in the UK? That would be at a different time and a different thing. And, you know, I need to write that down. UK option for both sim and aim. Because I do believe that God is, you know, this isn't just this side of the pond thing. And God obviously speaks through you and to you, and streams in the UK. Marion did it when he was in Italy. Wow, I didn't realize that. Yes, Ash is going into AIM. But we'll revisit that with my group and see about scheduling, and it may not be something that happens right away, but we definitely want to keep it in mind because we love you. We love people like you. You're such a big part of what we do, and we really enjoyed having you in Sim. So we honor how God speaks to you and through you. And, you know, it's, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. Here's my dream and here's the interpretation. Like, you didn't need our help for that at all.
Well, no, it's not that. It was just that I didn't mind any input, but it was just the thought of, it was just that I felt that's because sometimes you do ask people, what do you think it means? And I thought, I'll give you my thoughts on what I believe it means.
Yeah, I love that. You nailed it. You did great.
Wonderful. Thank
you so much for being on with us tonight and sharing your dream.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on so late.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a good one. Get some sleep.
I will. Thank you. God bless.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Well, thank you, Ash, for being on. Thank you, Susie, for being on.
Thank you. She is just as sweet as sugar.
Isn't she amazing?
Man.
She's awesome. She's got a whole fan club here. Thanks, Tanya. Yeah, she is. She's one of God's favorites.
Thank you for doing this tonight, John. Thanks for jumping on and just switching gears, and it really helps.
Tonight had a different feel, and I think it's probably going to redefine. Tonight felt like 100-hour night. Yes, exactly. Yes, tonight was everything from encouragement and like Chastity sharing her story, and Joanne sharing her nightmare, and Tanya with hers, and Brenda with hers, and I mean, just so much, so rich. I mean, every dream tonight was just like, man, this was really cool.
Yes, very rich.
I haven't gotten any dreams regarding the Million Women event in DC. If you have those, send them to us, because we would, have a lot of friends that are going to be part of Lou Engel's crew. And like I said, I was with Krista Alicia this weekend, who's just a dear friend. I love her and her dreams, and I want to get together with her and do a dream soon. Mm-hmm. But as we were talking, I got an email from Diana, so it looks like we're going to be doing another dream with our triple threat crew soon too.
Go.
So so much confirmation. I think we might actually starting maybe even next week doing a dream live dreams kind of this style, where maybe we do the first hour or something like that of just kind of, because I know so many people want to get their dreams interpreted. But our goal is not to become the be all and end all in dream interpretation. Our goal is to teach you how to do it. Yes. We want to teach a man or a woman to fish, not be that for you. And so we want to give you a nibble where you say, I want to know how to do that. That's the whole goal of live dreams. Now you know our secrets. I want to know how to do that because I have a calling and God is speaking to me, and I want to be a part of your community, and we want you, and we love you, and we dearly honor the voice of God through all of you as you come on and you share stuff with us, and it encourages one another, and it's it's great.
Yes, it's great. Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Could I pray for people really quick regarding Sim?
Yeah, do that.
That are on the fence. I just have such a heart for people who want to know more about the Lord, who want to hear him more clearly. And I know for me, I just jumped into Sim, a little over a year ago, jumped into Sim, and my life has never been the same. And I've been a Christian since I was 5. So you tell me the difference it can make in your life.
Yeah.
So Father, we just thank you for this time tonight together. Father, I pray you would quicken the spirits of those that are listening and those that read about Sim. Father, let them know that they are welcomed, they are loved. There are payment options even. Father, allow them, give them divine provision, divine revelation and wisdom. Speak to them in their dreams. Father, we pray peace and joy and love on each person that is tuning their ear to you, that they can hear you more clearly and reach out to others so those people can hear you more clearly. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Father, for your provision, for your healing oil, for all your gifts. You withhold nothing from us. We bless your name in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thanks for closing us out, Susie. We sure appreciate it.
That's okay. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here tonight. This was a special live dreams. This is going to be one of my favorites for sure. Well, I'm still on the road. I'll probably be on next Tuesday. Sometimes I get harangued into meetings and travel and all of that. So I don't know where I'll be calling in from next week, but could be a hotel room somewhere. Who knows? Could be back here in Ohio, but we love having you on. If you're not a part of our community, go to dreamlifedakota.com and click on the free ebook, and then we'll send you an email on how to connect. The Dream Lab on Facebook is huge. By the way, if I haven't approved your dream lately, it's nothing personal. It's just that I'm traveling and I'm the one approving. I read every dream you guys send in on the Dream Lab. That's me. And so I don't have 50 people that are doing that. And so if we get backed up, that's because it's me doing that. But we would love to have you on there because we love this. This is continued. This happens on Facebook all day, every day, where people are sharing dreams and people are interpreting them and they're adding their input. So the party continues. Can we do Sim with just a phone? It would probably be difficult. But if that's the only reason why you can't be in Sim or that's your big struggle, send us an email. I can't confirm, but we may or may have not bought computers for people that needed to be in Sim. Just saying. Can't do that necessarily for everybody, but if there's a need, that's why I say, guys, we're not trying to sort people out, especially because of the cost. Or because of I only have a phone, or I only have this, or I only have that. If we can make a way, we'll make a way. We just want to know that you feel called. Thank you, Chastity, for coming on and inspiring us all with your brightness and your cheer and your testimony today. Yeah, this was such a good night. Or keep trying to close out. I feel like a pastor, giving his 5th close. We're going to be on for an hour. 3 hours and 19 minutes later, but anyway, so glad we did this tonight. Thank you all. And we will see you next week. And until then, keep dreaming.